Welcome to What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Yellow Rose Canyon, your premier event space and campground nestled in the piney woods of East Texas. With cabins and RV sites available, Yellow Rose Canyon is perfect for your next event, no matter the size. A wedding, reunion, festival, you name it. Check it all out at yellowrosecanyon.com. Hello and welcome to another episode of What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck. Today I'm in the booth and soon to be joined by Shane Enholm. Wild man. Let's just say wild man. Extraordinaire. He's got, who knows what we'll end up talking about with Shane. He's got a pretty crazy story. If you follow tattooing, you know anything about Shane, you've seen him on other platforms, and he's just got a lot of interesting things going on. He does have some books out. He did a book on Scott Sterling, famous tattooer and machine builder. He's got a wealth of tattoo machine knowledge. He's got a couple of books just about tattoo machine history, tattoo machine mechanics, and he's doing some seminars around the country just about tattoo machines, how they work, and the history of them. It's really cool. Super excited to have Shane in here. Stick around for that part of the episode. Also, remember to like and share and comment and subscribe. You can even become a member of the What in the Duck podcast and get all the special perks, get some free shit. Also, if you have any questions for me, you can email them over to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. Any questions I answer on the air, you will be receiving some bonus free shit as well. I got a question here out of the Gmail from Jose. No way, Jose. Jose R. Period. Dash. Could be Rodriguez. That's an old that's a inside joke about WKRP. Maybe you don't get it. Cha Rodriguez. Anybody ever heard of Cha Rodriguez out there? Well, anyway, Jose, you got a question. You know, he says, just has a little preamble at the beginning, talk about all these great things, how cool I am and stuff like that. Appreciate that. How much whatever. Big question. Love seeing the lineup for Elm Fest every year. How does one go about being on the lineup? How do you go about choosing the artist to work at Elm Fest? Looking forward to hearing the answer to this question. All right. Thank you, Jose. Elm Fest is actually coming up pretty soon, a couple months away. And we did change the date this year. It's in April, so it's a little sooner. Weather will be nice. This is the 13th year of Elm Fest. For those of you who don't know what Elm Fest is, you can check it out on the Instagram at Elm Street Fest. Or you can find the link from Elm Street Tattoo on our website or Elm Street Tattoo Instagram. It's a little tattoo convention that we put on in Deep Ellum on Elm Street. I've affectionately dubbed it Elm Fest. So all the posts I make and all the things I make say Elm Fest. So hashtag World's Smallest TatCon. It started out small and it's gotten smaller. We kind of honed it into like this perfect little thing. We have it it's been in a couple different venues over the years. It's we kind of whatever. 1 year it was a little bigger and it was too big, so we went a little smaller and it was great. Then we went a little smaller and it was even better. And the last I think 6 or 7 years, it's been at Trees in Deep Ellum on Elm Street, 1 block up from Elm Street Tattoo. Great location. And if you're gonna have a thing called Elm Fest, obviously it should be on Elm Street, right? But yeah, it's kind of honed it down to like a really small, tight niche, little family kind of tattoo convention. One thing I tell the artists when they're invited, there's not you don't get like a 10 by 10 booth that you share with somebody and there's like barriers. It's like family style. It's like an Italian family style restaurant. It's just one big convention with everybody at the table. There's no dividers between each section. It's just kind of like it's actually perfect, I think. The feedback I get from the tattooers that come is perfect. But I personally invite and select artists and invite them every year. There's no booth for sale. There's no way to pay and get into a booth. It's just invite only. And I try really hard to mix it up every year and have different people. And one of my goals, I got many goals in this whole MFest structure thing. This is going to be a long rant. If that's what you're looking for, that's what you're going to get. One of my goals is to get at least a handful of tattooers in MFest every year that have never tattooed in Dallas before. That is, and we've achieved that almost every single year. It's great. And that's to give Dallas this experience of what it's like to, the old-fashioned tattoo conventions when it was just about being able to go get tattooed from people that you would otherwise never get a chance to get tattooed from, or it would be very expensive or painstaking to go get tattooed from some other part of the world or country. So we do have people from around the world. We have people from all over the states. And like I said, I try to mix it up every year. So other than one particular outlier, people don't get invited every year after year after year. I try to mix it up. And so what it means is I have a lot of friends that want to come and a lot of friends that I want to come, but I have the tough job of telling people no and saying, sorry, you can't come. You came last year. You're not going to come this year. Maybe you can come next year or every other year or every other year or whatever. And like I said, other than the one exclusion would be Greg Christian. He's, people are like, well, Greg goes every year. I was like, well, sorry, you're not Greg, bud. That's all I can say for you. Like, be more like Greg. Greg's basically the last decade or so ish been my number one travel companion. We do a lot of shows together, a lot of traveling together, a lot of motorcycle events together, a lot of tattoo events together. So Greg's the one. What do you call it? Exception to the rule. But yeah, so a lot of people have getting a little butthurt over the years that they don't get invited or that they did get invited one year and not the next. And, that's not what it's about. It's about giving the tattoo community in Dallas a chance to have something fresh every year and keep it small and tight-knit. I don't want a tattoo convention that has 100 fucking booths. I get invited to some show and it's got 200 fucking booths. I don't want to fucking go. I don't want to be in the sea of a million people fighting for the few tattoos that walk in the door. I want everyone to be busy. So, we've got it down to 30 tattooers, 28 tattooers, maybe 29 tattooers, maybe 27 tattooers. But hashtag world's smallest TatCon. It's worked out really well, and it's a good time. And I get people. I sit people next to each other that I know are going to get along. I sit people in the group together that I know are going to even if they don't know each other. A lot of people make friends at Elmfest because it's such a tight-knit group and you do have time to spend and enjoy and pay attention to what's going on because it's not like a million things and it's not like there's 100 after parties to go to. It's it's a curated weekend. If you come to Elmfest, you're obligated to be at the dinner on Thursday night. You're obligated to go to the art show. You're obligated to come to the after party. You're obligated to be at the TatCon and tattoo until the doors close, Steve Byrne. Steve Byrne's always got some excuse about I got to go home. I got kids or whatever. But this year, he has told me that he has got the weekend completely contained to be at Elmfest. We also do a big CeeLo roll. Which if you want to come be in the CeeLo roll, it is open to pretty much anybody that wants to come be in the CeeLo roll. Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm not going to tell too much information about what it is. If you know what CeeLo is, then you know. If you don't, figure it out. I will say this, that it is a large pot. A large pot. That's what it is. And I'm not talking about something you put a plant in. I'm talking about it's CeeLo. Figure it out. A lot of fun. I will tell you who is on the list for Elmfest this year. Like I said, it's coming up in a couple months. We're already rolling out promotions for it, and we're still doing more planning for it. There's an art show Thursday night that all the artists are welcome to add art to. It's a great time. But this year's list, what a great list. What a good lineup we have this year. We got Greg Christian. Surprise, surprise. Cindy Burmeister, also from Tattoo Faction in Ohio. We got Sam Lazell. We got Pew Chiquette. We got Sam Hambrick, Yoni Zibbler, Stephanie Streeter, Jay Rano, Joe Chat, Ollie Furs, Jojo Ackerman, Robert Atkinson, Tim McAlery, Big Jazz, Josh Bovender, Kylie Green, Steve Byrne, Christian Lane, Miles Cordier. I don't know if it's Cordier or Cordier, but it's Cordier. I think Cordier sounds good. Big Mees, Christopher Scott, Nikki Balls, Karina Monzon, Chris Yvonne, Alex Trufant, and hosted by yours truly, Oliver Peck. Great lineup. It's going to be a great show. If you can be in Dallas the weekend of April 10th, 11th, and 12th at Trees, you can get a fucking badass tattoo from a good group of people in an amazing, intimate setting. Good times all weekend. That's right, Elm Fest, put on by Elm Street Tattoo. We also have music playing at the bars down the street. We've got pre-party Thursday night, an art show. Saturday in the parking lot, got a motorcycle show. Last year the motorcycle show was pretty ripping. We had a big turnout, a lot of people in the street, hundreds of people showing up. So I'm sure I'm forgetting a few things, and this rant has probably already gone on longer than it should. But 13th year of Elm Fest is pretty good. Obviously, 13 is my favorite number. We just had a Friday 13th. It was great. Next month, March 13th, is also another Friday the 13th. We had great weather. We had a great turnout. We had a great group of artists come in town to work for it. It was basically as good as it gets. As far as having a good time, getting tattooed, hanging out, doing cheap tattoos on great people and good times. And we're going to do it again in March 13th. And then there's another one in November, 3 Friday 13th this year. And it's the 13th year of Elm Fest, and it's the 30th year of Elm Street. It's like 2026 is insane. It's already been a crazy year. I'm going to, hopefully I survive the rest of the year. Will say, you may or may not know, a few weeks ago, I had a heart attack. My second heart attack. I'm feeling good. I'm recovering. I'm still alive. Thanks for all of you that have reached out and well wishes, but I am feeling good. I'm doing my rehab. I'm doing good. I'm drinking lots of water, but I did work for 24 hours Friday 13th, and I did survive that. And whatever, things are good. I'm glad to be here on the podcast. I'm excited for Shane Enholm to be here today. He's a great character. He's a great character. He's a wild man. If you don't know who Shane Enholm is, you're gonna be. He's a great guy to listen to. He's a tattooer. He's been to prison. He robbed banks. He did drugs. He's did like terrible things, and then he got out of that. A lot of people that go down rabbit holes like that never make it out, and he's one of the survivors. And it's really cool to hear stories of, I guess it's a triumph story, overcoming, terrible, times of crime and drug abuse and this and that. But that makes him, that adds to the character. So he's pretty cool, pretty excited. And I hope you enjoy it. And then since I ran it so long, that's going to be all the questions I answer for today. But any other question you got for me, you can email them over to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll see you next month at Elm Street Tattoo, Friday 13th, 24 hours. We start at midnight and go till midnight. So come on out, or we'll see you at Elm Fest at Trees. April 10th, 11th, and 12th. And, man, good times. And ready for Shane Enholm. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Dream Machines of Texas. All of your used motorcycle wants and needs all in one place at dreammachinesoftexas.com. They have multiple locations, large inventory, and get new bikes in every week. Knowledgeable staff with great service, financing and extended warranty options available. They also have a complete service garage, so every bike is gone through and brought up to speed before you hit the road. I've bought more than a few bikes from Dream Machines over the years, and I could not be more satisfied. I have also had friends from all over the country buy bikes because they couldn't find a better deal anywhere. You can buy a bike and have it shipped to you anywhere in the U.S. Why buy a brand new bike with that brand new high price when you can get a like-new bike with that dream deal you've been looking for? Go to dreammachinesoftexas.com and get a bike and get your ass on the road. All right, Shane is ready. Welcome to another episode of What in the Duck podcast. I'm your host, Oliver Peck, and today I'm here in the booth with Shane Enholm, who's in town doing a seminar at Randy Adams Tattoo, talking about disclosure of machine technologies.
Yeah, maybe. Just some
disclosure is the right word, right?
Yeah, sure. I mean, at this point, is there any disclosure in tattooing? You know?
Oh, the cat is out.
Yeah, the last time I saw you was Bob's memorial.
It's been a while.
Did you know that you took? This is the truth. You know, of course, that the best comment was yours. You know, the family said that.
Well, I love Bob.
They said that.
Yeah.
And I've always been meaning to tell you that they were like, out of everyone that spoke, my favorite was his son-in-law.
Yeah.
That part about, had to tell me, got his daughter, yeah. But that's what they said.
I had no intentions of speaking at that funeral.
You did so good.
I mean, a funeral, memorial, whatever you want to call it. I had no intentions of you know, it's weird being at those kind of things because it's like you don't know whether it's your place or not.
Yeah.
But in that moment, the people, not to naysay anyone.
Yeah.
But the people that I expected to say things were too choked up.
Yeah.
To get up there and say it in front of people, and I just was like, man, I feel like more than just his family needs to say something, and more than just this planned person. And I had these memories, you know, and the last couple of dealings I had with Bob were real special to me. You know what I mean? And I made some jokes about him being harsh on me, but that's the point. Like if he never called you an asshole or yelled at you,
that
or
was his
fucking
trip,
shook his finger at you, then you didn't really know him.
Yeah, that's his trip.
Yeah, if he was only ever nice to you, then you weren't around him very much.
Yeah, or you were a girl, because he had that real bad. But way back, he used to talk about you, and he was like, "Who's that guy from Texas with the? He would." You know, It wasn't, but he would be like, talk about your tattoos, and I mean it. He did a lot, and this is before, I don't know, 20 years ago. I don't know, it was 20 years ago, I think.
Yeah. Well, there was a time I did a few tats at Spotlight over a couple of years, and he would not remember that I had done that because a lot of come and going, and a lot of times he wasn't there. You know,
yeah.
So, and one time he was just like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, am I not supposed to be here?
He did that. He would do that. Yeah.
He was fucking great. He was insane, wild man.
Yeah.
I think part of the reason that my relationship with him was somewhat special is I met him through Eric Mosky.
Yeah, Mosky, right.
And he and Mosky had a really special thing.
Mosky was a very special person.
And Mosky, brought me in there. I told this story a million times, but the first time I ever went to California in my life.
Really?
I flew to L.A. Because Eric invited me to come out when I was young, and he was been sober a long time, and I was only sober a few years, and he kind of tucked me in.
Yeah.
He's like, you got to come to California, because I kind of didn't really care about going to California because I'd never been and whatever. And he's like, you got to come out. And so I did. He picked me up at the airport, and we went from LAX straight to Spotlight. And he was like, you come to California, you go see Bob. And that was like, it seemed so old school to me, you know what I mean?
Right.
It seemed like this thing, and it made my whole trip something, because it was great. And Bob was there, and I got a tattoo.
Yeah.
Walked in the door, and I was with Eric, and I felt like I got something special because of I was there with Eric.
Right.
And then, it was great ever since.
We need 1,000 Eric Moskies.
Oh my God.
We need 1,000 of them. But,
it is. I mean, I kind of do a little bit to perpetuate letting younger generations know who he was, because a lot of people don't. And there was a time when his magazine article came out, it was like the biggest spread that a magazine had ever done on one person. And that's what made the next generation of people know what traditional tattooing was.
Right.
Because if you look at tattoo magazines before that article, there was just tattoos.
Yeah.
There wasn't like this style, that style, this
Yeah,
style.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
just
yeah,
like tats.
Right.
And the tattoo world was basically governed by Easy Riders Biker magazine.
Yeah.
There was no other influence other than that.
Well, and traditional was
just
almost
tattooing.
a cut, but it was almost like for cutting edge was like black and gray single, you know what I mean, in California. And so it was kind of like, what, you're doing those, So when he did that and stuck to it, and he created like in that Fullerton, Orange County, I don't know if it was Fullerton, but
it's Fullerton.
Yeah, he created a whole. That's when I realized that you could take an area, and if you just continually do your thing, you can infect the area with a certain style of tattoo. Right? I mean, right?
Well, the first time I went to work at Classic, like just the pizza place next door, people had pinup girls and hot rod tats, and you're just like, whoa, you never see tats like that in the public. And then all over town, people are just blasted with it was cool.
Yeah, Bob used to say that too. He'd go, yeah, down there, the girls are dressed like rockabilly and they all have these good tattoos. And he had this whole rap about it that he would, But that, right? Didn't he do that? Wasn't he like a record collector world known and all that too? Like, I think you told me a story one time that you were like in Kansas and you stopped at some record store.
And they knew him.
They knew him. Yeah.
And they knew what records he had.
Yeah, right.
Like they knew, like he comes in and they're like, the guy with the records. So Eric Mosky didn't fly hardly ever. He drove everywhere. And when he drove across country, he would zigzag to go to these record collector places. And he knew these people all over the country before the internet.
Yeah.
He knew people all over the country to collect records. And he would come in and they would be like, oh man, you still got that? And they name a record. He'd go, I still got it. And they're like, I think I got a record that you don't have. And they'd pull a record out. And he's like, that's one of the ones I've been looking for.
Right.
And I was like, dude, how does this work?
Right.
How do you just show up in a small little record store in Kansas and this guy knows the records you already have and this one that you don't have?
Right.
He was very big in that.
How old was he when he went?
Ah, man, he was young. I can't remember how old he was. He was in his 40s.
Where were you when you heard about it? Do you mind me asking you this?
I was in Las Vegas. At the time, I was working at Classic.
Okay. You were still there.
I was working there 2 weeks a month.
Okay.
And Eric had asked me to manage the shop.
Okay.
And so for about a year and a half or so, I was going 2 weeks a month. 2 weeks a month at Elm Street, 2 weeks a month at Classic. And I was kind of just doing the deal, help run the shop, because Eric he had fallen on unhealtty issues, and and he had got into his addiction pretty bad.
It was quick though, right?
Yeah. And every time I was in Fullerton, I would go to Vegas for a few days and tattoo at my buddy's shop there, you know, just trying to chase the money and go rounds.
Yeah.
And I talked to Eric. I saw Eric, and then I was like, I'm going to Vegas. I'm coming back. And then I got the call and I drove straight back to.
You did.
I drove straight back to Fullerton.
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry for your troubles.
And it was Chummy's birthday.
And
Chummy was his apprentice, and that was a big it was a very hard thing for Chummy too.
I bet. He's up in Oakland now. Yeah.
And I mean, that was the first phone call I made. Called Chummy.
But the thing about tattooing, the sad part of it is now exponentially, he's not as remembered, except by. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know.
People. I mean, it goes. I mean, not just as keep on about Bob, but Bob's biggest fear was he wouldn't be remembered.
And memories fade quick.
And it really does. And then nobody remembers where it came from when you're like, why they do that way. You know what I mean? That came from because people just incorporate it. Well, the internet caused that though, right? I mean, because everything's instant.
You would think that the internet would help preserve this a lineage or memories or whatever, but it really doesn't, because it just gives you the next new thing quicker.
Well, yeah, I think I always say this, but there's too much information available for people that don't have the ability to comprehend it. So they do as best they can. Yeah. And and it is faster and faster. I'm kicked off Instagram. It's the second time. Yeah. Second time they kicked me off.
Probably not the worst thing that'll ever happen to you.
It's the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
Like at first, the first time I got kicked off, I had 29,000 followers. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I couldn't even think. And I was just insane about it. And then I started again and I got up to 20,000. I'm just medium, me. And they took it again. And I mean, it's the first time I've told anyone what happened. I asked a underage, I'll explain it, so don't cut it off an underage girl for an address, and they kicked me off for that. A underage apprenticing with her father in Sparks, Nevada, wrote me and wanted machines for her father for Christmas. This is right before Thanksgiving. And I'm like, I don't got machines, but I'll sign some books and you can give them to him, my books, I wrote these books on antique tattoo machines. And, she's like, great. So I asked for her address, and I forgot to send them. And I went back on there, and you couldn't go back, I guess because she's underage, but I didn't know that. So I asked again, and they said, you are permanently kicked off Instagram for asking a minor for. And I was like, okay, Instagram, checks and balances. I got grandkids. I got daughters, Great. Put me in Instagram jail, but have a human being go back and look at what I did and then go, oh, man.
They won't do that.
No, you're gone. That's it. I talked to him on the phone. I was furious because, if you're verified, you can talk to him a little better. And they had left me on Facebook. And I was like, so Facebook's dying. So they kick you off Instagram and they think, okay, well, then at least you'll go, oh my God, I still have Facebook. But me, I was like, you have accused me of a felony. Where's the prosecutor? Yeah. Send them. Because what if it was, if there was truth to it, which there is none. But if there was, so are we protecting kids or are we not?
Yeah.
Are we just, you did? Well, AI, I found out, had kicked 600,000 people off for the same thing since July to November.
So it's just a standard protocol.
Yeah, they have it. It's not perfected yet. The AI, you know what I mean? So say it catches something in the DMs, you're gone. And then they never have a human being look at it. You're just gone. And at first I'm like, and then I was like, you better kick me off Facebook too, pal. Because if you're going to, now nowhere in my history, because they told me, I go, you're accusing me of it. And they're like, no, it just says community standards. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think a actress, a Spanish actress had 5 million followers that kicked her off for it. And she got him in court. And they couldn't say what she did. They were like, so the judge is like, okay, what's going on? And they're like, we don't know. And he's like, you don't know? But because I think it's bigger. It's got a life of its own, man. It's like a steamroller. But back to me. So I'm panicking. And it was the best thing it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It's just, you got to kick it. It's like dope. you go through about a month where you're like, you get up in the morning and you hit the button and you want to reach people and then slowly you start reading more, painting more. And now then friends of mine are like, like with my seminars, or they're like, Shane, you got to get back on there. And I'm like, maybe, but not yet. Let me enjoy this moment, because it can eat you up. I see it eat people up. And I think with tattooing, it's become this illusion. God bless Instagram. God bless it. I don't know, but that people are like, if you don't have it and you don't have this many, then you're.
Yeah, it's tricky. And the scary thing for me is that the younger generation thinks that they can't live without it.
Yeah.
They literally think that things won't happen without it.
Yeah, and I thought that.
I talked to a young girl who was running a social media account for a business at an event that I was at the event.
Yeah.
And she was asking me questions. She's younger and like asking me questions, and I was just like, we ended up spearing the conversation towards like how it was a long time ago, kind of like I'm the old guy, ask me old questions.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I made a jesting comment about how it was like better before the internet. And she said, well, without the internet, we wouldn't even have this event. And I said, do you know they had concerts before the internet?
Right. They had everything.
They had, people went to the movies before the internet.
Yeah.
People ordered pizza to be delivered before the internet. People had tattoo conventions and concerts and festivals and football games and baseball games and before the internet.
Right.
Like I went to Barcelona before the internet.
Right.
I went to a tattoo convention. I showed up and got a hotel. I made my way to the convention. And at the convention, there was a line of 1,000 people waiting to get in that all found the convention without the internet.
Right.
Like the world did exist.
Yeah. And well,
she's like, but how did people know where to go? I'm like, there was posters.
Right. Right. But you see that organic, I really mean this with physical health. Like with this whole internet, like it'll just go with the dating, but there's many things. There's that lack, when you meet somebody, when you're young and you meet a girl and you see each other across the room, and then the next time you have coffee, and it's this buildup, and it's an actual hormonal buildup that creates. Now it's just
you find out whether you like someone or not,
and it's a big. And by the time you guys are actually like freaking or whatever your trip is, it's such a high that these kids, I think, lack it now because they don't have that. They're just like,
yeah.
I mean, I've never done that, but everyone I meet, when I'm like, where'd you guys meet? The internet. Where'd you meet? The internet. And that, great. It's useful, but it's also, there's no deep dives too. Like there's a real lack of deep, when I do my seminars, I talk about antique machines. Somebody filmed me recently and I watched it, just a few minutes of it. I'm talking about Jonesy's, and I realized nobody in the fucking room knows what I'm talking about. and I thought they did, I'm saying the bottom plate and the upright. And then when I see the film of it, I'm like, they
don't know what's going on.
That, and
you're speaking to people that you assume have a basic knowledge already. You might need to speak to people like they don't know what.
But I don't
start from scratch.
Yeah, but I don't think because I think everyone knows that, but they don't. Like everyone's different. Like Ed, machine wise, just to go there, tattoo machine. Ed never cared about tattoo machines. Bob never cared about. I could take a case of antique tattoo machines and Bob would be like, paintbrushes.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He there's a story he told me, and it's in my book. He's like, yeah, Paul made machines for arm tattoos. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Bob? And he's like, well, I had this 15-year. He kept every machine he ever had. And he's like, I have this machine, and I was in Japan, and I'm trying to do this thing on a guy's ribs, and it's just fucking hard work, and I'm slaving, and he said, so I went over to one of the new builders, and I'm like, give me a machine, and he finished it. Dude, tighten the contact screw, man. It just mushroomed. It's like real simple, but he don't care. Some people, you know, like I know we have a mutual friend, Jimmy Perlman.
Oh yeah.
And he's a machine guy. Like, he's been over to my house and we've spent 10 hours talking about why this screw. But some people are just like, what the you know, but it's the same thing with car guys or bike guys, or if you have it, you have it. If you don't.
If you were a tinkerer as a kid, you know, then, you know, I was taking apart RC cars and dealing with little motors and doing with little things. And so when I got into tattooing, I just very quickly figured out how to make the machine run faster, harder, slower, longer, shorter. You know, just learn how to change the stroke, learn how to give it spring tension, learn all this stuff, and it was just snap quickly. And other people, they get a machine and then as soon as they loosen the screw, it never runs again.
Well, when you first see one and you're young, you think, I'm never going to be able to make anything. I mean, that is heavy. It's weird. You think, and you watch somebody, you know, and they're pulling perfect lines and they're doing, and you're like, oh my God. Like, because at first you see someone doing a tattoo and you think, well, they're just following the line. I can do that. And then when you try it and you're like, oh my God, I'm never going to master that thing. But a tattoo machine, what a beautiful, I mean, they're sexy, man. They're to me, they're the shit. Like, I mean, I just dig them, man.
Well, that's my whole trip over this last year has just been this no dildo zone, like anti plastic battery machines or whatever. And I'm like, it's because tattooing is supposed to be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a tattoo machine is a cool item.
Yeah.
It's an artifact, it's a tool, it's a piece of craftsmanship in itself. It's a keepsake. It's a treasure trove. I have machines that were Eric's.
Yeah. There you go.
I can do a tattoo with the tattoo machine that Eric Mosky did a tattoo with. And to me, that's cool.
Yeah. Beyond cool.
And I call the dildos, I call the rotary pins, I call them trash. And the reason I call them trash is, what is the definition of trash? Something that is going into the trash can. Like this plastic cup is trash.
Right.
I'm going to use it right now to drink this coffee, and then the plastic cup goes into the trash can because this is trash.
Right.
My tattoo machines are not trash. Right. They will never go into the trash can. Your dildo pin someday will be in the landfill with that lithium battery and a bunch of plastic.
Well, it's the difference between driving a Tesla or a 53 Chevy truck.
I know. I'm saying,
I mean, what are you doing?
If you love tattooing and you care about tattooing, why are you using trash to do it?
Well, yeah. Well, they've been around forever. They were esthetician pens, weren't they? I mean, I remember years ago, like,
they had them.
Dermograph, one of them companies, you go there and they had them. They were there. And you were like, and they're like, nah, we don't fuck with those, you know.
They were trash then.
Right. Right. Well, and the journey, see, this is the big Zen thing, and it's true. You know, it's just, it takes you a lifetime to learn it. It's not the goal, it's the journey. Yes. So learning about tattoo machines is a beautiful, like me learning about them. I mean, because at first I had no idea nobody does. There's not a single person born that understands what a coil or what the whole trip is. But once you learn, it's so beautiful, man. Like, I mean, it's, and then, like you said, once you understand it, you can make it do anything.
Yeah. If you're not enjoying right now, you're missing out.
Yeah.
Because right now might be all you get.
That's right.
Yeah. If your only happiness is maybe to reach a goal in the future.
Well, what's the goal? Death? Because that's where we're going.
Exactly.
So it's now. It's right.
Now
it's instant. But that's the whole thing with sobriety. You get into that, you know, one day at a time and all that. But the truth of it is, it's now. It's now. Yeah. It literally gets into now. It's hard because as human beings and consumers and Americans, and we're made to think there's going to be this surprise at the end of it. But
surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. My grandmother, like I was just telling Matt, my grandmother was like, her last words were, "So I guess this is it then." I'm like, oh.
I mean, that's perfect.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, what did you think? But we're led to believe that somehow there's a goal.
Yeah.
But it is. But with tattoo machines, we could get all esoteric. But with tattoo machines, I mean, I just don't even understand why you wouldn't, as a tattooer, dig them. I just don't get it. I don't get it. And the pens, and but I'm shocked with the people that use them. It blows my mind when I see them, and it's not my place, but I look and I'm just like, holy.
You know what I do? Every time I see somebody using one, I take a photo of them doing it.
Oh, see, that's funny you say that because what and I don't know about it anymore, but okay, so Colonel Todd, he would say you're gonna buy a machine from someone, look at their tattooing before you buy it. But that's not true anymore, right?
Oh man, we can go down a bad rabbit hole because I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not going to spell it out, but there's a lot of people using a very, very specific tattoo machine that is built by someone who is not doing very good tattoos.
Right. Well, that's what took over. And then when you buy a machine, what I said is you should look, now that we have Instagram, okay, you want to use Instagram? Go see if the guy you bought the tattoo machine from is using his tattoo machines. Because, like, everybody gets down on Brian Hibbard, my friend Shank, because he doesn't like people copying what he does.
Yeah.
But his theory.
He's a very particular individual.
Yeah. He's the one that...
He doesn't like jokes.
He came here. He's the one that came here and told me about this place. He's like, oh my God, you got to see his place.
Yeah. I love him.
Yeah.
I hope he knows that I love him.
Well, you're going to know now,
okay.
Right? Yeah. He was like, Shane, if another builder is going to charge a tattooer hundreds of dollars for a machine, why do they want one of mine? Obviously, they're good enough to take another tattooer's money. They might as well use their own.
Yeah.
It's a good philosophy, really.
Unless you like to collect things.
Well, no, that's true, too. Yes. But in the big scope of things, so when you look at a tattooer and he's selling machines and then he's using a pen in his Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand who would buy a coil machine from a dildo user.
Yeah, I remember. I sometimes my friend, Mike Wilson, sweetheart of a guy. We were in New Jersey and I was working, and I'm like, Mike, you use those? And he goes, well, I don't think I if I did, then how would I sell my coil machine? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's true. Like, you should use it. Like, yeah. It's hurt us, but That's good that you have that, because many people are like, they don't care.
I mean,
every tattoo they love is made with a coil machine, right?
You think?
Well, once upon a time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't have got where they got, but that's more to do with.
People ask me about, have you ever used a rotary? I was like, yeah, my first tattoo machine I ever made myself out of hairdryer motor was a rotary machine.
Of course.
Why would I go back to that?
Right. Right. Like prison machines, that's all you can get.
Yeah.
So, and tattooing is such a human. I mean,
well, when they had when the pneumatic revival happened.
Oh yeah.
If anybody out there remembers, there was a time when people invented tattoo machines that ran on air power.
Yeah.
And all these tattoo shops were putting in plumbing air lines to every station and have a compressor in the back, and I was just like, y'all are out of your goddamn minds. Like, it already works.
Yeah, man.
What are y'all trying to fix? What problem are you solving by running airlines all over your shop? Which is insane to me. But I was like, listen, you hold the machine, and at the end there's a hole. And at the hole, a little needle goes in and out and in and out and in and out. So, to be fair, it makes no difference what's here.
What pushes it?
It makes no difference.
There's a certain amount of force that
it could be a hamster and a wheel.
Right.
It could be.
That'd be interesting.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
I always wanted to build one out of a fucking little gasoline airplane motor. Because I thought that would be a little V-twin would be killer.
Yes, it would be.
But it doesn't matter what's here. the needle goes in and out and in and out. And if you're using it correctly, you can do a great tattoo with no matter what's here.
Yeah.
So that being said, that it doesn't matter. The only thing that does matter is if you're cool or not.
Right. But well, then you get back to Mosky, and we're losing.
And if you wonder what tattoo machine is cool, then just look at the photo of someone using the dildo pin.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, that one's not the cool one.
I don't even understand them. Like I mean, I don't even know. I don't care. I mean, like why reinvent it?
I mean, I've made fun of people using them, and they're like, well, I don't care what you think is cool. I don't care what's cool. I'm like, yes, you do.
Yeah, everyone does.
Yes, you do.
Especially tattooers.
If you didn't care what was cool, you wouldn't even have a tattoo.
Right.
You wouldn't do any of these things.
Well, do you think it's convenience?
Yes. I think it's laziness and convenience.
But a battery pack.
It's laziness and convenience, 100%. People act like the clip cord is burdensome. I was like, if you think a clip cord,
funny.
If you think a clip cord, the smallest little light wire, if you think that is burdensome, you are so frail and fragile that you can't handle a clip cord. That's how frail and fragile you are, that a little wire is burdensome to your life.
Right. I mean,
oh, the clip cord. Oh, it's just so, it's here and it, oh.
But it's a generation. I mean,
you turn it on and it just goes. It does the exact same thing no matter what. You can't change it. It can't, and you just use it till it breaks. You throw it away. You get a new one.
Yeah.
I tell the story about my grandfather had one lighter.
Really?
He had a lighter for my entire life. He went to war with this lighter, came home from war with this lighter, lived another 40 years with this lighter. I now have this lighter.
You have it. That's great.
Like, now people have the lighter for the 3 days or a week and throw it away.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah.
My grandfather's lighter is not trash.
Yeah.
It
could last forever. It's few little flint, little fluid, forever.
Dude, I got the little box that has the wheels, the flints, the wicks, the fuses, everything in the little repair kit box.
You're set. Yeah. That's a good analogy.
It's cool.
My grandfather I was close with my grandfather. He was a painter and he was a great guy. Taught me how to draw airplanes, World War I airplanes. That's what we started with. Great guy. And when he went, everybody wanted everything but his paintings. And that's all I wanted. And I got him.
That's cool.
I got him. Yeah. But grandfathers, well, now I'm one. And my grandkids are the shit. I mean, they really are. They're really amazing. They're amazing kids. But back to the tattoo machine. I mean, I try to tell them it's learning about it that's so, I mean, it's wonderful. Then we're learning about springs and learning about A-bars and magnetism and then the myths of tattooing. See, this is what's wrong. The information, a lot of the myths have now been, okay, so, battery power is the best power. It's, that whole rap, right?
I don't like it.
Okay. Well, once upon a time,
yeah.
when buildings surged and you're sitting there tattooing
and
okay, but now when they're like the older tattooers would see like a power supply and it'd be a computer and they'd be like, what? It's got that fucking cord with and you'd go, yeah, but man, it runs a computer. You don't think it can run a tattoo? You know what I mean? Like it, those myths, the same with like the formulas for inks. For years, you need Listerine or you need a certain vodka. Because tattooing's history was a word of mouth. And then they were coveted these secrets that maybe in 1920 were Because, okay, tattooing, what I always say is, my grandfather gave me my nickname Shane-O, which was a magician. Shane-O the Great. When I was a little kid, I was doing magic tricks. Well, what's a magician's first rule? Never reveal your secrets. Well, what's the first thing when you started tattooing? God damn it, you're seeing something special, and don't you ever, you know what I mean? But that went in when, you know, right? I mean,
now they call it gatekeeping. I've been going round and round. I've had a few conversations about gatekeeping.
I'm a gatekeeper.
Well, I made an analogy that it's like there needs to be gatekeepers, because without gatekeepers, then just everybody can just recklessly abandon, do everything. Like if you want to do a certain thing, like you want to be a doctor, there's fucking gatekeeping, dude.
Yeah.
You got to go to
Carpentry,
medical school.
anything.
But I'm saying, you want to be a doctor, you're gatekeeping being a doctor. You have to go to medical school. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. It takes 10 fucking years. They're not against that gatekeeping.
And even be skilled at it.
But they're not nobody's
No,
against
they're not
that
against-
gatekeeping.
yeah, right,
They're
right.
against gatekeeping in this area or that area.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, no, there's a reason for it. Because if you aren't willing to persevere to get the locks, to get the keys to open locks and pass through these gates, then you don't deserve to be here.
Right? But
You have to climb to get to the top of the mountain.
But
There's no fucking heli ride to the fucking top, dude.
no, and you're taught to protect it. And,
Yes.
and then everybody instantly now wants to put you down for protecting it.
You want to be a Marine? There's gatekeeping.
Yeah.
You
all of
can't
it.
just be,
Yeah.
you want to be an NBA basketball player? There's gatekeeping.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to prove yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know where. I actually think COVID. I mean, it goes way deeper than that. But is that where it all started?
I don't know.
But it's like instantly there's 1,000 tattooers, and then they started calling themselves scratchers online, and they were proud of it. Or do you see any of that?
I mean, I've seen it all.
Yeah. But
I say build more gates.
yeah.
put up more gates.
Well, the thing is that when you start tattooing, now, you are seeing something very special. And you know, there's a thing that happens between you and your customer that I mean, we're psychologists. I have lifetime friend grandfather. I'm sure you do too. Any tattooer, their application, of course, is important, but it's not the quintessential, because you can be an asshole and do the most beautiful tattoo on somebody.
They know where they wants it.
They remember you were an asshole. You know, and then you can put something just awful on someone, and they had the best time of their life, and like, he's the coolest, and you know, like,
Tattoo means something.
And I remember, this is like in the 80s, Mark Mahoney was like, Shane, people love their tattoos. And I think what he was trying to tell me is, when someone shows you, just go, oh wow, that's, you know, because it's theirs and they love it. And so if you're like, oh, that's got busted lines, and you know what I mean, like, but does it?
Yeah.
Because
Well, I'm in the worst position because I was on this TV show judging, and people
Yeah.
always want me to, like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, do you want the truth?
yeah, but yeah.
And then no matter how good it is, I just say it sucks.
Yeah,
But I'm joking.
Yeah.
Or I'm not.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh,
But it's a horrible position.
yeah.
But-
People want me to. People, you know, they want you. I can kind of tell when they're like, oh, I got this from so and so. I really want to know if you're gonna say it's good or not or whatever. And I'm just like, you know,
I think
it's always at a bar too. I say,
Yeah.
ooh, looks great in the dark.
Yeah.
That's my line. Looks great in the dark.
There's a guy in Daytona, Stan. He's retired now. He opened the first shop there. He rode his motorcycle down from Long Island. He used 2 machines his whole career. Mike Wilson introduced me to him. And he called. He goes, hey, can I bring this guy Shane and Scott? Scott Sterling was with me. He's like, can I bring? And he was like, he hated tattooers, you know. And he's like, I don't know. And then we ended up being lifelong friends. And he was like, when he'd go to bars, he'd be like, don't tell anyone I do dots. He called it doing dots. Because he didn't want anyone's dirty armpit. Who wants to? You're there, and you know,
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, give me a break. Like, so he would say, don't tell anyone I do dots. He retired and he sold his shop, and he was always like, Shane, have you retired yet? I just talked to him last week. I'm like, no, you know, and he's like, Shane, what are you doing? yeah, you know, like you got to get out of that. Like, it's over.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I don't know. Is it? You know?
I mean, I'm not quitting yet.
Well, the thing about tattooing it's a life. It's a lifetime. I mean, I know people have come and gone, and like during World War II, there were all those women tattooers that are, they used to come to the shop, and then later I got this machine that was had Vonnie Lee 1943 on the upright, and I'm like, and then someone found an article that she worked for Painless Nell just during the war, specializing in wax waves to women, and then probably after the war, there's no need to tattoo them, and but kind of when you get into it, if you're a tattoo person or you're not, you can't. Yeah. I mean, right? I mean, I got tattooed when I was 12. Like, I'm like, what are those? Group home. I was at a group home, and we went to dinner. It's my first night there. I'm terrified. I'm unhappy. No home. I'm the group parents, Jan and John, and there's all these like 17-year-old gangbanger. Me. I'm like 12, and I'm like terrified. And one of the guys had a heart, and I'm like, what is that? He goes, it's a tattoo. We'll show you how to do them after dinner. And I had like Led Zepp, and next thing you know, I had like classic,
so
like
cool.
Tattoo, like classic. I still have the Aries from when I was 12, but that's not an uncommon story. Many people, as soon as they saw him, they're like, or my grandfather, he had, or
People ask me, when they're getting tattooed, they want to ask you, oh man, how'd you get into tattooing? What made you start tattooing? Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I was a kid. I had older punk rock friends who had tattoos. I wanted tattoos, so I just started tattooing myself. And that was, first time I tattooed myself, I was 15, and I just wanted tats.
Yeah.
And so I just started doing them.
Cool.
And they're like, that's why. They expected some completely different story.
Right,
and I'm just like, I just wanted them, so I started doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think also that the punk rock, I lived with, I was in early LA punk rock, and we lived by the Pike, and it was me and the bass player for the Vandals, Human, and this other guy. Yeah. And so we went down, he took me down there for the first time, and they loved us, and they were like feathered hair, the tattooers, tinted sunglasses, boot cut jean, you know what I mean? Kind of like disco biker,
I know.
And
young Rick Walters,
and they
loved describe young Rick Walters,
and
basically.
They loved the energy of us. They loved it. I remember I got a hot stuff, $35, and I was jazzed, you know what I mean? But because I always say, well, if you're a tattoo person, you walk in a tattoo shop, the first time, or when you're like, I want every design on the wall, you know what I mean? Like, I'll put that here, I'll put that here, I got to get a panther here, it's just part of it. It's like, but punk rock made tattooing explode, like the cross section of that.
Yeah, that's what got me into it.
Yeah. Yeah, punkers. Yeah. And then they started doing them. I remember when we first started getting them in Hollywood, it was Mark Mahoney or Bob Roberts. That's who you went to, one or the other. And I had started with Mark. So I went and got tattooed by Bob. He put a Rolling Stones tongue on my stomach with Monkey Man. That was my favorite song. And he was disgusted doing it. I knew he was. And I lived right by Spotlight. I lived like 2 blocks from there. And I used to go by there, and
it was the ghetto back then.
Yeah, and Joe Vegas had started working there, and I used to see him, and he was like, we talk now. We're doing a project, and he's like, he remembered.
I love Joe.
Yeah. Well, but Bob, we hated each other. But I was into Mahoney, and he was like, it's this junky scumbag. Bob, he's very judgmental, and
to say the least.
Yeah. So, but Mark,
and then he ended up being best friends with Richard.
Yeah. And the first time, after prison, and Leo, and some people ask, how did you become friends with that guy? And I'm like, I think he was all like enamored by my penitentiary record, because Bob, he told me when he was a kid, he got those biker books. They're like stories, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's like, the guy, get on a motorcycle, go to the corner, sock some guy, get a girl, put him on the back of his. I mean, he really thought, wow, I gotta be that guy. I mean, okay, Bob. Yeah, okay, man. Like it's a book, man. But yeah, we really hit it off, and he really, I think he had some fantasy about that, but whatever. I mean, what are you gonna do?
You and Baby Ray had that in common.
Yeah. Ray, right. Ray. When I met Ray, he had all the penitentiary game. He's running on everybody. No one heard it before.
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's like, oh my God.
The old shit.
Yeah. Like
same old story.
On, man. Like what's the thing? Do you want to be the mama or the papa?
Yeah.
I want to be the papa. Okay, suck mama's dick. That kind of stuff he did. Yeah.
He's like, you just stay there. I'll do all the gay shit.
Yeah. All that. Yeah. And I was just like, he's lucky because he brought that in and no one had heard it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, you're in that system and you hear it every day and then there he is and you're like, oh my God, but yeah. Ray.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a couple questions about your timeline, because I know a lot of things about you. I just don't know like how what led into that. See, you were in group home, you got your first tattoo, but did you start doing tattoos professionally before or after prison?
A little before. Well, we lived by the Pike.
Yeah.
And then I would sweep up and they would buy burgers and stuff. Bob Shaw. He did my first. I have it. I'll show it.
First professional tat?
Yeah. Because I had Led Zepp under this.
Okay.
And so we're going to do a cover up, this hot stuff. And I knew a guy named Wilkie who had hot stuff. So I got to have hot. Now I have hot stuffs all over me. But so he was like, well, it's a cover up. I'll do it. I think Biker Jane Calamity was there.
Yeah.
She was tattooing Human. And Rick might have been there, but maybe not yet. And Mahoney was living at the Rose, which was across the street, with a guy named Reaper Doug that had like do you know anything about this? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
He had a face tattoo. The guys are fucking crazy. And they used to lock him in there, I guess because he was like kind of a tweaker. But I met a guy named John Sandler, Horse, and he had worked with Bob at Tattoo City, and he was thought of as the best black and gray tattooer in the world. But when I met him before prison, he kind of hit me to bank robberies and you're a kid, and I grew up in juvenile hall and group homes and all that. And so punk rock, I wasn't even 18 when I met him. I was 17. So we're talking 16, I was 1980. So 81, maybe 82, he just gotten out of Ed got him out of San Quentin, and he burned Ed. And then he went down there and he burned it's a classic. He's from Palos Verdes. Really, Bob would say, he's a gentle soul. But this guy's record was like Quentin, Folsom. But he was like a bank robber. And I would ask him, well, how he goes, oh, they'll give you the money. It's easy. It's easy.
It's easy, dude.
And the next thing you know, I was doing them. And then we were cellies in prison together. And then when I got out, it's this good timeline. I got out. First person I went to see, Mark Mahoney was the only guy that wrote me in prison. Tattooer. And so really before prison, I wasn't really a tattooer. Not really. I was kind of, but not. I was a fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, what, you're going to apprentice me and we're going to shoot dope? I mean, you know what I mean? So when I got out, the first night I was out, I went to see Mark. And I bumped in.
And you were how old?
I was 30. And I'd been away since I was like 20. And it was and I just thought, he was working at Mayhem. Do you remember that shop?
Yeah. I didn't go there, but I know about it.
Yeah. Charlie McDonald or someone owned it. I didn't know that at the time, but I went and I bumped into Carrie Barba. And I know that she looked like she's seen a ghost. Like, I mean it. And I was like, where's Mark? And she said he's at that. So I went there and he was there. But there was a girl from punk rock there. Well, we should back up because of punk rock. But that was the first night I was out, but I didn't want a tattoo. I didn't want to do that. I mean, my parole officer wouldn't let me anyway because I tattooed in prison. Horse and I were cellies. So we went from the Pike to being cellies in there. And he was an amazing tattoo. I mean, really. He did some... I interviewed Jack years later, and Baby Ray had told me that the best tattoo that was ever done was a tattoo Horse did of a sea monster. This is what he said. He was in the back of Good Time Charlie's. And I interviewed Jack, and I go, hey, you know that? And Jack's like, I never heard it. Of course, right? Well, if it said Jack Rudy, he heard of it, right? But he was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was like, okay, never mind. But I didn't want a tattoo. I wanted nothing to do with it. I was oil painting, and I just was like, oh no, tattoo shops. And I got a job in one, but I just was like, I just want to be the janitor. Like, I didn't want to deal with people. And I mean, you know, prison jades you a little with people. You know what I mean? Like takes a long time to live, to get out of that, you know? So, but punk rock, my mother's kid, my kid's mother is the girl that had the suicide pact with Darby. You know, do you know all that? I know the broad strokes.
The story, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so I was thrown in the middle of that, but I didn't know at the time it was so important. You know what I mean? I was 16, and there's a couple videos on YouTube of me at that age. They filmed a documentary, and I'm up there acting stupid, and everyone's like, oh, Shane, what you said was smart, but it's actually, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know, but punk rock led me to tattooing, led me to Horse, led me to bank robbery, led me to prison, led me out. And then...
So quick question on the bank robbery. Was it very lucrative?
Well...
Or was it not worth it?
Okay. Bank robbery in the 80s was, they didn't have cameras everywhere, and nobody had a cell phone. And so if you robbed the bank and you came out of the bank and everyone knew you robbed the bank, they can't just go, okay, crime partner. What, you're going to have a crime partner? And he's going to say, me and Shane checking in at the bank. You know what I mean? Like, but it was different then. But the thing is that when you rob a bank, you have if you've never been in trouble at that time, the 80s, which was, LA was the bank robbery capital of the world, you have an 85% chance of getting away with it because the FBI doesn't know who it is. If you go in halfway disguised, glasses, the baseball hat, cowboy hat, whatever, but you become a serial bank robber. That's your trip, serial bank robbery, and then you start doing them over and over because the money's too easy. To me, it was easier than shoplifting because you just walk in. You
say, give me the money, and you run out. You're not getting $1 million, but you're getting a stack of cash.
Well, but 9 out of 10 bank robbers are drug addicts.
Yeah.
You know, the reason that bank robberies became federal was because of Dillinger, and they would run across state lines, and they were like, the cops couldn't bust them, so they're like, well, if we make it federal. So the mistake they made making it federal is that then federal system used to be counterfeiters, big mafiosos, and then all these junky bank robbers, you know what I mean? like so
unorganized crime.
Right. And there's only a few bank robbers that are like go in the vault. Like, I mean, that's their job. And I've met quite a few of them because, you know, once you go there, it's like going to college and for a crime. So I would meet, like, Horse was a bank. I mean, and he was like, wow. I go, Horse, how'd you do it? You know, and I've already been in trouble my whole life. I was a pharmacy robber. Well, it doesn't matter. I was just, you take your parents away from any 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know, where are you going to end up? I mean, very rarely, maybe in the early 20s, you'll end up working on a farm and then become a cowboy, whatever. But a modern America, Los Angeles, you know, you're a street kid. What crime? You know, what are you gonna do? But most professional bank robbers that go in vaults and stuff are few and far between.
Well, there's not hardly any of them now.
Yeah, well, it's useless. I don't even think they have cash. You know, go to the bank, and what are they gonna do? I mean, I went in there to get money to buy something. I remember I had a bunch of money in the bank, and I go in there, I need 20 grand. And they're like, we got to order that. And I go, what are you talking about? This is a fucking bank. You got a safe this big. You can just go in there and get me a couple stacks.
Nope.
Like, no, because it's not a cash world. But then I guess what is the internet more lucrative to rob? But Horace, when I asked him how to rob banks, he was like, okay, get a big canvas bag. Because there's dye packs. And they had him go off and tear gas. But he didn't tell me they were tear gas. And he's like, so in case it goes off, it'll rumble in there, but you'll still get the money. And he goes, and go in there and show them like just a hairbrush, or if you can get a toy gun, put it in your belt and show them it and tell them, give me all the money, and, walk out and duck your head. That was his like bank robbery.
I mean, pretty simple.
Yeah. Well, you're going to trade your life for it.
Yeah.
I mean, because the FBI, you rob a bank, it takes you a minute, 2 minutes, and you're gone, and you're in a hotel with a dirty leg hooker, and your drugs, you're all celebrating, you're pimp rich or whatever they call it, right? And they just start looking for you, and they look 24 hours a day, and they're professional looking for you, and you think, hey, I got away with it. I remember when they caught me, I wanted to get. My crime partner was Casey, the mother of my kids, and I wanted to get her off the charges because they knew she had driven. I mean, there's 29 bank robberies. What, are you going to fight that? They're going to convict. They're 25 years each count. Even if you could beat 28 of them, you get caught for one, you're finished.
Yeah.
So I was like making a deal with them, like sign these photos. And I'm like, if you let her go, I'll sign the photos. This is me. And, I'll throw myself on the mercy of the court. And they did. But I forgot where I was going with that. You're trading your life for it, and I remember when I was signing the photos, what I thought was, it's almost 5. The banks are going to close. I need some money. Like, are you guys going to let me out so I can go rob another? I mean, it becomes normal.
Yeah.
Well, like anyone's life, when they do things, it becomes normal to them. And you're like, what? You guys were like eating babies? And the first time was a little weird, but after that, we all just joined in. And, so bank robbery gets like that. You get to the point where you just think, well, I just got to go to the bank. I'll be right back. What? You need some money? I can go get money. Yeah. So, but prison was absolutely the best thing that ever happened to me. Like I'd be dead if it wasn't for that. Or, I mean, it really was. It at one time, I think it was if you don't make a career of it, because most of my friends, they never stayed out. I've been out a lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, a lifetime. But most people, they only are out like 60 days, 30 days, 40 days, but I mean, what is it? The true definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I mean, see, I never understood this about guys from prison. Okay. I went to prison. I was a fuck up. Like, I'm tattooing, doing drugs, fucking anything. I'm like in the middle of all of it. And it's just like another world that you traverse. And other guys, they get out. They rob banks, they go to prison, they get a job in the factory, and for 20 years, they never get in trouble in prison. Why not do that the other way? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean, jail sucks.
Oh, it sucks.
I mean, I did 7 months in jail for,
you did?
For third felony possession of LSD, and I was like in jail. I've told the story a million times.
Where?
In Texas.
Oh, no. That's horrible.
And I did like
You were a kid?
It was like a boot camp program.
Okay, good for you.
It's like like your next step is prison.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I was in jail with a bunch of little gangbanger kids. And everybody the whole thing is you had to be under 21. And I got lucky and got this program like the month before I turned 21.
Oh, good for
21, I wouldn't have been eligible. So I barely skated in. So I'm in there with all these teenagers, gangbangers, car thieves, drug dealers, all these young kids. And they're all just talking about how they're going to their gang is going to do this. And when we get out of here, we're going to run this. And I'm like, when I get out of here, I'm getting a job.
Yeah.
Because jail sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
Y'all are going to go out of here and be back in prison.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, I'm like, I don't know what y'all think about what's going on right now. That you think it's just okay to like keep being a criminal, but I'm getting a job.
No. Well, Texas, I met a kid that was in the Dallas. What is it? Tarrant County? Is that
Dallas County is Dallas, and Tarrant County is Fort Worth.
Okay, he was in Dallas. He was a bank robber. I met him in New York in federal prison. Him and his brother were robbing banks. He was 19. He was in like a 60-man tank. He was the oldest guy in there in the county jail. Could you imagine all those 18-year-old? I remember I was in one prison and I went in the TV room and they're watching cartoons. Like, I mean, we're an adult. There's murders happening. Not a lot. It's always overrated. Oh, I was stepping over body. You don't know.
Yeah.
I'm stepping over bodies to go to the shower hall. And it's like, dude, there's like 2 murders a year. Come on, relax. And
so I was in a unit, like it's down south of Huntsville. It's inside Federal Corrections Unit. It was
really?
Jester 2 is the unit. And across the street,
great name.
Across the street was Jester 1, which was like the maximum security facility, so you could see it. And so every day we're getting marched by our drill sergeants, and you see people over there, and they're like, "You are going to be there next year." You know, they're telling you, "You get out of here, you're going to be over there." And I'm like, "Not me."
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Not me. I'm getting a job.
That's a beautiful success story.
Oh my God. Jail,
that's what it was designed for.
Jail sucks.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I was the oldest boy in this whole camp.
Right.
Because I literally skated in. Like, I turned 21 like the
right before,
couple of weeks after I got put in.
Yeah.
You know, everybody was from 17, I think was the youngest you could be, 17 to 20.
Jesus. And LSD.
I did a lot of that.
I had a friend, Ethan Haberstroh, he's dead. We were in prison together, and I was in the hole for a long time, and I got out of the hole, and he was there, and he had Bell's palsy, like half your face, because he was nervous because he's in there. And he was a deadhead and the judge sentenced him for the weight. It was on, and he said, "Your Honor, it's on paper." And the judge said, "You're lucky it ain't on bricks." And he gave him like 10 years.
Yeah.
And he was a great, I just really weird kid that, you know, that typical somebody I would like. And his father wrote this book on Moby Dick, Herman Melville. His parents were big professors, and he just got LSD. He just got caught up in it. So that's what you were busted for.
Yeah.
That's a great story. That's good. Good for you. Because so many people, that's a stepping stone.
And I mean, I just got so lucky with the whole way it worked out, because at the time when I got busted, the ruling on LSD was still kind of gray. And they sent it off to a lab, and they charged me with X amount of deal of micrograms. And, you know, originally they tried to prosecute me for distribution, but then it got knocked down to just possession. So everything worked out great, as good as it could. I had some friends that I was in selling drugs with that ended up getting busted a year later. And they had changed the law and how they weighed it, and they had upscaled it to involuntary manslaughter because it had an amount of strychnine in it and all this stuff. And a guy that I knew that got arrested a year after me ended up doing like 15 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they got really, prisons are factories with fences around them.
Yeah.
And the feds, they fight for the same contracts as McDonnell Douglas, but they pay everybody 50 cents an hour. You dig?
Yeah.
So they get these contracts. So sometime, I think probably at that time, they were looking to change the laws so they could bury all these people. I know that's a kind of negative way to look at it, and they built, the system got huge, and they buried everyone with 30, 40 years life, 20 years, 15. They gave everyone, they're all getting out now, these guys. You see them like on jail porn, you know? Do you know about it? Like on YouTube? Oh my God, there's all these guys, and they're all talking about prison and the politics, and I mean hundreds of them, and I'm just like, why would you ever want to sit? Hi, this is the whatever on the razor. So far at San Quentin, they had, you know, you're like, man, there's so much more to life than that. Like, wow. But it's a subculture, I guess. But that's a beautiful story, of redemption.
Lucky to be here.
Yeah. I mean, most people don't get it. They don't. You know, I feel very fortunate. I would never change the time I did in there, and I met lots of really people, like Sonny Barger was his number's 82740, mine's 82707. We went the whole system together. But I just knew him as Sonny, and my friend was a Selly. I didn't know I knew who he was, but he's in there. We're wearing the same shirt, you know what I mean? Like, so I met a lot of really cool people, but to waste your life in there, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a friend, Dean Rose, in there. He could tattoo. And I always lived with the tattooers. There's a group of us, because they do real good tattoos too. People don't. They're always like jail tattoos, but if you've seen Penitentiary, that's where all that black and gray came from. I mean, it's incredible. And Dean said to me that his mom, he was like, get out, do 20 years, get out, do a year. Do a year out, do another 20. He was like, my mom went to some psychic and she said in a past life I was paying for it. I'm like, well, whatever. Okay, if you say so. But it's heavy world. But after prison, so I robbed the banks with the girl. I got her off. I signed all the photos, threw myself in the mercy court, thought in my mind, she's 12 years older than me. Case was a big scenester in L.A. Darby, the Weirdos, John Denny, all those people. And actually, now I think about it, she was a molester. I mean, I know the youngest, when I was in juvenile hall, she was sleeping with my friend Frank. He was 12.
Oh.
I was like 15. Like, she was just, now, 1980 or 79, it's not, and it's a chick, it wasn't kind of looked at like it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he was 12, man. He was 12. We talk about it because he's still my friend. And of course, and we talk about it, and we're like, I can't believe that we were involved. But when you're 12 and some older chick's you're like, it's my birthday.
Oh my God.
But so I thought in my mind, she's going to get this little house and we have these girls, and she left them on a friend's doorstep. We never saw her again. She died. The kids went into foster care. They suffered immensely. So when I got out the first night, I went and saw Mark, and then I went with them and I spent the night at their house, and I was like, they were suffering. I just knew they have nobody. So I better, Shane, you're the only no one's coming to save them, and you better. And I did. I slowly dug us out of there, and now they're married and grandkids. I mean, you couldn't get a better story. Success.
What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Legacy Ink, the finest in tattoo pigments. I've been using this ink exclusively for over 20 years myself. It has been recently rebranded and marketed, but it has been the same recipe for decades. Real, hand-mixed tattoo pigments that heal great and last. People always comment on the yellow that I use and the yellow tattooed on me, my favorite, the Mayan yellow. I have seen countless 20-plus-year-old tattoos with the colors still vivid. Don't duck around with all these newfangled companies with their watered-down baloney. Get the tried, true, and tested good shit. You can find them on Instagram at Legacy Pigments, or email Ashley today to place an order at legacyartsupplies@gmail.com. Tell them Oliver sent you and receive a special discount. Don't just do tattoos. Be part of a legacy.
I mean, than that, seriously, if I had a looking glass and could see to now what I did with the girls. I mean, because like Stormy was my youngest daughter. Like me and Casey are robbing banks. We're in San Francisco. Cops are looking for us. I would buy cars at these rental places or used places like a Gran Torino, like some big sled, you know what I mean? And we'd be arguing, of course, because we're punk rock. We're arguing, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to prison." I'm like, "Nothing's gonna happen to you. Don't worry. I got this. I got control of everything. Don't worry." And it's the sun setting in San Francisco, and Geary Street is a street that it's one way, and there's like 5 lanes and no parking. So there's all these cars going to the suburb, wherever people are. And I gun it, I make a left, the baby's on her lap. And when I make the left, I kind of look over, the door's open, the baby's off her lap. I look in the rearview mirror, and Stormy's in the middle of the intersection on her hands and knees. Right? So there's like 5 cars with their lights on, like all.
Oh my God.
I slam on the brakes, jump out of the car, grab her, jump back in, and drive away. And I think now I'm like, holy shit, Shane. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's like the most horrible thing in the world, right? Like she could have got run over. I could have ran her over. It would have been the whole, I mean, everything. But I'm a
worst possible scenario.
Right, but I'm a fucking kid with some woman that's 12 years older than me, keeping me with kid. I mean, I'm a kid. I'm winging this. You know what I mean? But so where they came from, what I'm getting at is where they came from was complete
chaos.
And where they are now, she's married, her wife's a cop, they have 2 grand. I mean, they're the best thing in my life. Like, I always think Casey, she overdosed it years later, and I always think to myself, wow, she missed the best part of it. You dig? So even though, I have all those stories and everything, but the actual today, I mean, I'm an old guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need no drama. I'm okay. But the tattooing. So when I finally decided I tattoo my friends because it's the joint. I use joint machines. It's my friend Spider Middleman. I covered his whole body, and then Mark and everyone was like, you should come work, and and I was like, nah, I don't want to. Lazy. Your friend Josh.
Oh,
yeah. We were hanging out with all them because I knew him from punk rock from when we were kids. But all that, I was tattooing all those guys, and I'm like, no, I don't want to work in a tattoo shop. I don't want to, I don't want rules.
Yeah.
But then one day I just was like, you know what, Shane, just hunker down and do it, man. Just do it. And my mom had a box of antique couple and a Wagner and a couple machines that she had saved from she came out one time and stayed with me, and we had these my mom was a fuck up. God bless her. I love her, but she's gone. But I mean, she was a fuck up. And we made plans to move in together or whatever. And she took this box and it had some machines, and she had saved them all those years, and I got them back. And that was the beginning of my antique tattoo machine.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, and that was the beginning. Well, I mean, I was fascinated with those, and I realized most people don't even know about them. You know what I mean? Like, not for real. Like they know a little. I mean, I know you have good machines. You got some of Mosky's.
Yeah.
I've had Jimmy Perlman send me pictures of like Ace Harlan's.
Yeah. I do have that. I have an Ace that Eric gave me, and
that's amazing.
And I've got a couple of, those chrome-plated brass Jensens.
Oh, the Jensens. Yeah. Yeah, because he was all buddies with Leroy.
Leroy, yeah.
Well, and Leroy said the best tattooer on the pike was Lou Lewis.
Yeah.
And I got obsessed with Lou Lewis, and when I wrote my book, I brought you books, which we can talk about. Scott's book came out, Scott Sterling.
Wait. That's one of the topics we're getting into. You're an author.
Yeah, I wrote, but not on purpose.
An accidental.
I wrote a book on.
I feel like your whole life is just
winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
But here you go.
But during COVID, I wrote it because I got obsessed with antique tattoo machines, started collecting them. And, someone would have one for sale, and I would be like, what do you want for it? Okay. I never argued about prices. I never bought them because I wanted a collection. I wanted to learn. And what's the best way to learn? To own them. Like, you can look at pictures of Paul Rogers machines, but until you've held one and know exactly what the fuck's going on. So everyone was like, well, Shane, and it's not that I'm good at, I have a memory. Like, I have a photographic memory.
You got a really sharp memory. And better than mine.
That's one of the things Civ said on here. He's got the memory of 10 men, and I don't know if that's true, but that's Mike Wilson too.
Yeah,
he has a good memory, and most people that are experts at something, and I'm not saying I'm an expert, but it's just that they have a very good memory.
Yeah,
and so during COVID, I'm like, oh fuck, we were closed 11 months. What am I gonna do? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a book, but I didn't make it easy. Okay. if you teach someone how to make these, they're going to make forgeries.
Yes.
So you got to keep all the secrets, but that's what we're taught when we learn to tattoo, keep the secrets. So I made it very difficult. Like Scott Sterling always says, yeah, you wrote a book, but you got to work at it.
Man, I bought, actually me and Dean, we used to buy a bunch of flash and machines and stuff whenever we had, just, you know, at the end of the year, the shop had money, we'd spend it on flash or machines or something.
Yeah,
business expenses.
Yeah.
Legitimate business expenses, you know, and we bought a Paul Rogers machine. And I just had a feeling about it. And I ended up showing it to a bunch of people. And, you know, the general consensus now is that or back then, is that it was a forgery.
Right.
And Mike Wilson and a few other people looked at it. Mike Wilson's like, man, it does seem like it's somebody faked it, but it's the best fake I've ever seen, and it runs fucking great. You should just tattoo with it.
Well, but if it was, they wouldn't even know to put that much effort into it. You know, sometimes you'd see Paul's stuff, and it would be Paul's, and you think, the fuck is that? But it was, So
this one has been considered to be a forgery.
Okay.
And we also got it under a situation very suspicious, and it was, you know, one of those too good to be true kind of priceless deal.
Yeah.
So, but then I got another Paul Rogers machine that's a real Paul Rogers machine from '87, and it's the coolest fucking machine for me personally because the date on it. He wrote the date when he made it, fucking Friday 13th.
Oh, no, really?
1987. I think it's like June, Friday 13th, 1987.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Fucking cool.
He wrote really cool shit on his machines. Yeah. Well, imagine being him.
Yeah.
And Coleman kind of taught him how to build machines. And
well, that machine, when I saw that it had Friday 13 on it, it was like you said, like, how much is it? I'll take it. You know? Or I'll take it, how much, whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and then that's how I ended. I didn't mean to. I wasn't like, I want to have a collection of antique. I just was like, wanted to learn. And I'd be like, okay, what do you want for that? And somebody go, well, you don't want. Yeah, I do. What do you want for it?
Yeah.
And then one of the best things I ever did was buy parts.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd be like, I don't know about that, but I'll take all that spring stock and those screws. And they'd be like, what? You want this busted wire? Yeah, I do. Yeah. And I have like a bunch of it. I have a boxes now, but I have like Cherry springs and Jonesy springs and, you know, everything but not.
So the first book you wrote is about
Tattoo Machine Discourse, right?
And the concept that you came up with to write the book is just to share information about machines or tell stories about machines or continue the lineage of machines, or what is your first thought of why to do it?
Well, because...
Or you just didn't have anything else to do?
No, because well, no, of course I didn't. But to make money. Yeah. No, the history of tattoo machines.
If you want to make money, making a book right now is not the way to do it.
No, definitely not. Everybody's like, it's over. Because there's too many now. Yeah. Remember, there was only like 3.
Yeah.
And now there's like 1 million. Everyone's like, I'll make a book. Well, you won't sell it.
But it's cool to have it, though.
Yeah. But this, okay. Tattoo machines are measured by patents. Oh, Samuel O'Reilly invented the tattoo machine. Oh, he did? Really? So, because he patented one? It's in here somewhere. Okay, you've seen the O'Reilly patent?
Oh, yeah.
It's got a fucking elbow. It's an Edison machine.
Yeah.
But the only modification is it has an elbow in the... How the fuck is that going to tattoo anyone with an elbow? I mean, it's not just a bend, because if you...
But it was also patented as a concept before it actually worked.
Oh, no, they had no working model.
Which a lot of people do.
Lyle told...
A lot of people come up with patents, not just in tattooing, but in general. They come up with an idea that could be implemented later, so they patent it in case somebody does implement it.
Well, there was a big fight between him, apparently, and we just found this out, between him and Electric Elmer over who was going to patent. Here it is. See the elbow in it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, how the fuck? It's got
a magic gear drive in there. It's like the bullet that killed Kennedy. It's fucking zigzag.
Don't get me going on the Kennedy assassination. I know everything. Like yeah. Okay, but my thought on that was, okay, and all the charts that the two big historians, okay, it's a good place to start.
Yeah.
But they're wrong.
Yeah.
And through deduction, you learn that. Okay, so tattooing is a secret. Okay, so electric tattooing. There was an article in the Brooklyn Eagle in 1870 where there was like a dental machine, like a plunger they called it. And the guy's like, that would make a good electric tattoo machine. He's a fucking reporter. They learn everything last. They're the last. So if he knows about electric tattooing, then it wasn't invented in 1892. They must have had it before then, and they just didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see all the this is just my theory. This is what I wrote in the book. This is what I'm explaining. Okay, tattooers, locksmith, tattooer. You see that a lot in old cards. You know what I mean? Like they were hustling, they were doing. Okay, well before.
It's like plumber, drywall, whatever you need, call me.
Tattoo supplies. Yeah. Well, doorbells.
Yeah.
Well, who the fuck do you think's taking care of doorbells before there's probably the locksmith, right? So he's looking at that thing going, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And he says, hey, I'll just take this thing off of it.
But what year was the coil motor invented?
Oh, that's funny that you say that. Okay. Electromagnetism was actually like 1830s.
Yeah.
And then the telegraph, like 1850s. I mean, they were already fucking with it.
Yeah.
60 fucking years before.
So when was that model of the doorbell invented? Does he have a date for that?
Oh, I'm not sure. You know what? That's funny because
somebody would, if you were even thinking about the possibility of a tattoo, that's the thing you see. Boom, 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 boom.
Right, and that's where, and I believe that is exactly where they came from. At the beginning of building machines, all the machines say General Electric coils before people would wind them themselves. They'd buy, and these old machines, oh man, I have them in the car, had one screw. Have you ever seen a tattoo machine, instead of having the two coil screws, it has one?
Yeah.
That's because that's so old that they were just putting the coil device already in. You dig?
Yeah.
So my whole theory that Samuel O'Reilly didn't invent anything.
Yeah.
God bless him, and he just patented it.
He patented something. Do you know the story about Keith Underwood's patent?
No, but I want to hear it.
So years ago, Keith Underwood wrote out a patent and got a patent for a cordless tattoo machine.
No kidding.
Wireless, cordless, battery-fed tattoo machine. He didn't produce it.
Right.
He just got a patent for it.
Right.
And his idea, his plan, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but his plan was to, when the technology did come available, he would own the patent and he could profit off of this.
Right.
But he filed the patent too early, and it ran out before technology caught up with it.
Right.
And so I remember in Milan one year, somebody had come up with a battery pack that strapped onto a tattoo machine.
I remember
and they gave it to Jack to try it out, and Jack used it, and it was too heavy, and it was awkward, it was weird, and it was the placement on the machine. It just went straight into the and a little jack on the back, and it hung off. But it was a battery, and it would have made a cordless tattoo machine. And if they would have produced it at that time,
he would have
Underwood would have been like, hey, that's my patent,
that's
blah, blah,
my
blah.
company.
But then it didn't happen. The battery technology didn't get good enough. And I don't know the stats on how long a patent is good for before it has to be implemented.
Right.
But it ran out.
Right.
And then now technology ran amok, and I don't think any one person owns a patent on a cordless tattoo machine. I think it's free reign.
Yeah.
Because if something gets patented and it doesn't get implemented, at some point the patent runs out.
Right.
Just like a trademark.
Right.
Like that's why people are using the Steamboat Willie cartoon at will right now, because it's so old, it's public domain. Yeah.
Right. Well, once upon a time, there were only 4 or 5 patents for tattooing. Now I hear there's thousands. I don't know if that's true, because I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, would you patent the needle bar?
You'd have to make some significant change. I'm sure that people, like somebody that invented the cartridge, should have patented that item or something. I don't know. Yeah, Ricardo. The boys are getting it.
Matt.
Yeah, they'll be fine. We don't edit anything out. We leave the
Oh,
dogs
you don't?
barking in here and everything,
Yeah,
so it'll
yeah.
be fine.
Well, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
you know?
What you hear is what you get. So you wrote the book. We're back on the book.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I digress yet again. But I first thing I said in it is, was philosophy, Socrates, which I learned in school after prison. I went back to school and on scholarships and stuff, and I loved philosophy, and I read incessantly. Prison, I think, taught, but I always read. My grandfather was like, I don't know how he knew. He wanted me to be a lawyer, but he was like, read. He wouldn't take blood pressure medicine, died early, whatever. But Socrates, the start of the book is that Socrates was the smartest man in Athens. And Socrates is like, I ain't smart. What the fuck they talk? It's a Delphic oracle. Some people say it's a statue. Some people say it was humans or a temple. You know, it's Greek shit. And he was like, what? It's saying I'm the smartest man in Athens. He went up there. He goes, what are you saying? I'm not smart. I'm stupid. And they go, no, Socrates, you're smart because you know that you do not know. So I said, when you read this book, I'm not saying I know. I'm saying I got into tattoo machines, the history of tattoo machines, and these are my theories. I'm not saying they're right, and I would love to hear anyone else's if you know something I don't, if I'm wrong. But you know what the problem with tattoo historians, I don't know about now, but are, you know, is they corner the market, and then instead of saying Lyle, God bless him,
Yeah.
but instead of him saying I don't know,
He says, up something.
right, and then they send you down somewhere that just is.
Well, the problem with the tattoo history in my lifetime, of all the people I've met, is just a bunch of crazy old fuckers.
Well,
like Malone and Mahoney and Bob. They just say crazy shit, and you're like, and it's almost it's all folklore. It's all according to so and so.
Right.
You know, it's not.
And it's like, and I wrote this in the book. It's like that game Telephone, or they call it Chinese whispers or whatever. I guess you can't say that, but you know, you say a word and then it goes around, and by the time it gets back to you, what the fuck? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
the longer the sentence is, the more it changes.
Right. And so a lot of our history was wrong. And it's not so much that you could go back and figure it out, like hear it or something. You just go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. And then you start looking and you're like, oh, it's fucking. Or there's that story that Jerry would leave a machine on the table that was all fucked up or wrong or sprung wrong, and he'd go away, and then the tattooer would look at it and go, oh, that's how he's doing that. And it was, you know, because
we don't know if that really happened or not.
Right. But he doesn't want to get, it's the magic secrets, you know? Yeah. So everyone was like, Shane, you need to write a book, you know, where the binders, you know, all that crap. And I do. I really went into deep dives. I found out like Jonesy's binders were made on J32 telegraph keys. And I only found that out because he bought military supplies. So I'm like, I gotta go back in military catalogs, and you know, I just got obsessed. and because you think, okay, he's gonna buy the cheapest shit, and he did, and that became, and now they call them J32s, and I'm like, yeah, where'd you hear that? Because I know where the fuck they heard it. But it's not my history. That's what I always like in my seminars. I never charge. It's not my history. It's our history, man. And I might put something to it, and maybe you'll buy a book, or you'll let me put it. But it's, you know, somebody fucking does a seminar and they charge. It doesn't matter. It's not our. It's ours. It's yours.
Yeah.
We're all part of it. It's like a growing thing. But yeah, I think a lot of with the tattooing, the history were myths. So with the machine in particular, you know, there are guys that thought the back coil doesn't do anything, and it's a U magnet, like in a brass machine. You have the yoke, and that's a U magnet, like the U magnet in cartoons, you know?
Well, I only use brass machines.
Somebody told me that.
And people ask me why a lot, and I say, well, I just like them. Personal preference, you know, not saying they do better tattoos or not, but and I also say this, on a tattoo machine is so kind of rudimentary. There's not a lot of like, it's not this perfect, precise, scientific device. It's a very rudimentary U magnet. But I say this, I say, if you do care about something being correct, then the core of the yoke and the mass of the core of the coil and the mass of the yoke and make that perfect U. And that what makes a proper U magnet. Now, if you just put it on a steel frame, the mass of the steel frame is massively bigger than the core of the yokes, and it's not protecting the correct magnet. So the correct way it's supposed to be is with a yoke. So you have and then the yoke is insulated from the rest of the frame because the frame is brass and non-conductive. So that's the way it's supposed to be.
No, it is. The brass is an envelope.
Doesn't mean you can't do it another way.
That's brilliant.
I just prefer it because I heard it from people who heard it from people, and it passed down. I heard it from Eric, and I talked to Leroy. To people that knew Leroy, and it's just like, to me, it's just like the original old way to do it.
Well.
And I just like that. And they look cooler, and they sound cooler, and they have people complain about the weight. And I'm like.
No, weight helps.
I was like, the people complain about, oh, it's a heavy machine, it's harder to tattoo with. And I'm just like, I don't think so. If you were talking about a measurable amount of weight that would be strenuous on your body, I would understand. But we're talking about a few ounces. Yeah. In the capable hands of a human being that can lift 100 pounds. Right. I'm going to worry about 2 ounces.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
you're like, oh, well, that heavy weight hurts my machine. And I'm like, if you use a lighter machine, then you're gonna get weaker. And then the new weight of the machine is going to be cumbersome as well. Why not just be stronger?
Well, don't. I mean, not to give up game, but you're moving your whole hand.
Yeah.
Not, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it doesn't matter because it's you dig? Like it's not like it's like out on something that's
it's crazy to me.
Right.
Like my hands hurt, my arms hurt, my back hurts. Oh, my hands hurt. Must be the weight of my machine. I'm like, wait a minute. My neck hurts too. Is that the weight of the machine? Yeah. Wait, my thigh hurts too. Is that the weight of the machine? No, it's you're doing a repetitive motion. You're tearing your body up, and I have bad posture and I do this, it's like the weight of the machine is not their problem.
Well, okay.
I don't believe.
But tattoo machine myths, there's a lot of them. But a good tattooer can tattoo with anything.
It's true. Tony Hawk can rip on a $10 skateboard.
Jimi Hendrix, you can hand him any guitar and he's gonna just flourish. So now a good tattoo machine should make your job easier. Yeah. The clip cord should go in there good. The tube, you should never have to fight to get it. All the little things. Yeah. But everybody, and this is a big thing in tattooing, or was before the dildo, is everyone's looking for that magic tattoo machine that if I just get that Paul Rogers, man, my lining is going to...
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you something that I love about tattoo machines that I've experienced in certain machine builders.
Yeah.
Once somebody gets really good at building machines and does a lot of it, and people that I know personally that have made great machines, Juan Puente, Scott Sylvia, Sessa Ferry, Ben Mack, Brian Hibbard. I mean, they just tune it in. But they can build a good machine, but does that mean it's good for you or good for me? Who knows? But years and years ago, I was at me and Sessa Ferry did a tattoo convention together. I mean, this is like 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And we tattooed beside each other all weekend.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, Seth gave me a machine. He goes, after working with you, I built this machine. And I used it. And he's like, I watched you tattoo all weekend. And I figured out how you do. And I used it. I was like, it's fucking perfect.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And then Ben Mack did the same thing. Saw me tattoo, built a machine for a shader for how I tattoo, and I was like, man, like just knowing what little changes, because there's not a whole lot of things to change.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
There's this, There's this,
Right.
there's this. There's only a few things that
Right.
you can change on a
Right.
machine. The distances and the amount of changes you're making are very incremental.
Yeah.
Tension, gap.
But it's a big deal.
Tension and gap.
Yeah.
And distance. Distance, tension, and gap.
Yeah,
Very small in an area this big.
Yeah.
But it can make a huge difference. Because I can take your machine right now and turn my back to you with a screwdriver and ruin that machine in 1 second.
Yeah. Well, and there was sabotage. A lot of people would do it. They would sabotage coils.
Yeah.
Like cut the wire, like, you know.
Or just bend the spring.
Do all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah. Once you tweak the spring the wrong way too much, you have to put a new spring on it. You can never save it.
Well, and spring stock has changed. Materials change over time. And one of the advantages of getting old, you know, I mean, I know
they don't make it like they used to.
Yeah, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's they're trying to save money, so the strength of the spring stock or something is not like what I mean, Scott and Rollo were getting rid of all that Jerry. I got it all.
Yeah.
I have it right now. I have feet of it. And I'm like, they're like, oh, it's kind of rusty. And I'm like, do you want it? No, you can have it, Shane. Okay. So now I have like, and lately I've been thinking, man, maybe I should start selling it. I mean, I don't care. You know, it's not like a thing like but they don't make it like they used to. And the other thing is what you're saying is very true. Okay, so there's the myth of iron. You need pure iron. Like Jerry, he went to the foundation in Australia to have these casts at the, you know, the whole trip, right? Okay, well, Shank went into Home Depot and bought just stock metal. At one point, I'm not saying his machine, but put the whole thing together, painted it, you'd never know, ran fucking like, and proved me wrong on that theory.
Yeah.
Like, of course, some materials matter, whether there's magnetism in it and, you know, the wire, but, I mean, if you're a gat wizard at building them, you can do amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they are really amazing, but my favorite builder is Jonesy. The brass.
Yeah.
I mean, he came up with great inventions like, okay, so you have a machine that clipcord came around in after World War II. So first, you know, the ones that were...
Yeah.
I talk about this in my seminar.
Wires,
this is exactly what I talk about. So, okay, so I think Coleman or one of them guys invents this clipcord.
Well, it wasn't until they needed to, like, change machines a bunch that they came with clipcord.
Well, they
used to be hardwired in.
Right.
And you just left it plugged in forever.
The green machine, the black machine, the shader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so when with the clipcord, and then think about it, it's just like today, someone's like, hey, man, we don't use those souffle. Remember the souffle cups that everyone put their ink in? They're like paper.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
McDonald's ketchup cups.
Right. And then
from the 80s.
And then all of a sudden now ink caps. And then you're like, I'm not using those little things. I'm going to hit my needle. You know what I mean? Where's my souffle cup or whatever? It takes a long time for tattooers. So the clipcord, and they're like, hey, check this clipcord out.
Do you turn the souffle cup like upside down and then dent it in?
You put the yeah.
Push it. Yeah.
See, that's top secret shit.
Oh, we should have told that.
Yeah. Because God knows somebody's gonna do it just to right. But it takes us a long time, like the clipcord, and some tattooers are probably, I'm not fucking using what with the fucking clothespin or whatever they're making them from. Like fuck that. I got the but it takes us a long time to. You dig?
Yeah, I just remember one of my favorite things people ask me if they don't know, you know, people that are new into tattooing, they come and get tattooed and they look and they see my machine, they're like, is that machine homemade? And I'm like, well, I mean, a tattooer I know made it, kind of, yeah. And they're like, it seems like it's a little, and they're worried about it. And I'm just like, what do you mean? It's like, well, it's like got rubber bands holding it together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Rubber band is an integral part of the
Yeah. And that's just super important.
People think it's just like ghetto and got tape on it and the rubber bands holding it together.
Yeah. I love all that. Yeah, it's beautiful. But it takes us a long time to assimilate. So Jonesy has a side wing, right? The two on the side. Mm-hmm. People understand what that is. Well, that's a beautiful invention because you don't have to move the coil to wire. You know, when you have a back binder and you got to move your back coil and you bust the inner wire.
Yeah.
You ruin them. So he's got this great thing. He puts the coils in and he can wire it to the side. And then tattooers go, what the fuck? And they cut that out and they put it with it. So the exact thing that makes the machine beautiful, they modify and ruin.
Yeah.
But that's tattooing, you know what I mean?
People love to just, cut weight off of it or...
Oh, yeah. Well, then when you talk to... You know who's really good at tattoo machines? You know Ken Cameron?
Oh, man. Greg Christian uses pretty much nothing but Ken Cameron
that doesn't
machines.
surprise me.
And they're beautiful brass machines.
He made me a pair. And one coil's smaller than there's little things that... And he figured that out.
Yeah, but Ken is a craftsman.
Oh, no. And even before I met him, someone was like, oh, you're just like him. You read everything. He reads arithmetic books, and I'm into math and whatever, anything. And so, once we met, I had him write the intro to one of these books. He's in it. I had Scott and Richie Montgomery and him, machine guys. But, yeah, Ken, he's got some formula. He does it every time. This is how you make a tattoo machine. He makes every part. I mean, you can't argue, oh, it's not that good. Or,
Not great.
Yeah, I mean, how are you going to argue that? And that guy, he told me recently that one of the first times he worked for Cliff Raven, Cliff had that wrist thing, carpal,
Yeah.
And so Ken's first in the morning, he would go to the shop and Cliff Raven would sit there smoking cigarettes, go, put yellow here, put red here. And Ken would sit there. You know what I mean? What a great, teach you to tattoo. You know what I mean? Because what were the three best tattooers once upon a time were Cliff Raven, Don Nolan, and Ed. So you got Cliff.
Yeah.
That
was after Jensen died, though, right?
Yeah. Jensen was the best.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Chewy's Flash?
Oh, my God. It's the best.
I mean, it's like fine art.
Oh,
and you see those.
I have an original Jensen. It's like one of my prized possessions.
Well, Menu.
We had
the books, and they're okay.
Yeah,
but they do not do a real Jensen.
Well, that's where I got mine.
Yeah.
I got mine from Eric's collection that he got from.
I'm sure
from Leroy.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was after Eric passed away, and those, I think it was 11 or 12 original Jensens that got sold.
Yeah.
Through Eric's father.
Yeah. I remember that.
And I bought one.
Yeah, good for you.
And I wish I would have bought
all of
them.
Yeah.
Like, what an idiot.
Yeah.
But I could, at the time, I didn't have the money to buy all of them.
Yeah.
But I would have, if I could go back, I would sell everything I owned to buy all of them. But, Steve Byrne got one, Carl Hollowell got one, Jimmy Perlman got one, like everybody.
Yeah.
It was cool that we all got one, but, and I got my favorite one, so that's great. But it's incredible.
That Chewy somehow.
He loves Jensen.
Okay, so when he first started collecting, he would come up. And my friend Jim Laporte owned Long Beach Tattoo, the other, and that's where I got a lot of. He had everything, and I just, I'll buy it. You know what I mean? But Chewy found these sheets that were in a. I could have this wrong, so forgive me. But
even the ones painted by Dottie are incredible.
No, these. I was just in shock. How beautiful they are. Some of them have a light blue outline around him that he would do with.
It's like Payne's Gray.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I mean, because when you come up with painting, you always think Jerry, because Malone was so big and Ed and everyone. Jerry's a champion, but he had nothing on Jensen. Jensen at the height of his game.
I tell the reason that I personally think Jerry was better than most is just because his aesthetic eye was so good. He just made the girls' faces cute.
Oh yeah, no, it's true.
Because Jensens are beautiful, but they're not as cute.
No, but that's like that Lieber.
Yeah,
you know how they have like, and they couldn't tell whether it was Jerry or Lieber that did them. But Jerry had a way of drawing with his pencil. You see all those tracing, that was tattoo language.
Yeah.
Like it just worked. However he pushed down his weight on, I mean, you've seen him, I'm sure everyone. Yeah, Jerry. But Jensen painting his flash.
Well, I also say that if Ed Hardy would have inherited everything of Owen Jensen,
he would.
We wouldn't have Sailor Jerry books. We'd have Owen Jensen books.
Right.
There wouldn't be Sailor Jerry rum. There'd be Owen Jensen rum. There wouldn't be Sailor Jerry Clothing Company. There'd be Owen Jensen Clothing Company.
Right.
Ed marketed it.
Poor Owen. You know, his story's real tragic too. You know, he had a son that he loved, Dottie's kid, and in 1969 he bought him a brand new Camaro. Kid killed himself in it. And
yeah.
Poor. I mean, there's so many, but Ed, when Leroy was selling the shop, Ed went down there, you know the story, and he bought a couple sheets, and he drove, and he came back and bought the wall. He has a stash of Jensen flash,
yeah.
But I've only seen a few of them. But Chewy landed these sheets, and there's like these frogs, this frog couple that have like a leaf as the umbrella. I mean, they're amazing, man. Like, I mean, we have an inherent responsibility. This sounds lame, but we have an inherent responsibility to Owen Jensen to do this as best as, you know, I mean, we're standing on the shoulders of very amazing human beings. You know?
Well, I have a lot of good hope right now, because there's a whole new young generation of tattooers that are not this last 10 years, but this current year, that are
really
that care, that are in nostalgic.
That
and
makes
that,
me
like,
very happy
that
to
are
hear
like
that.
Looking at old flash, and like, you know, because there's a lot of stuff people doing. The traditional style of tattooing is people are going back to it again.
Yeah,
and they're going to keep going back to it again. You know, they went back to it in the 80s, and then they went back to it in the late 90s, and they went back to it in 2010, and now they're going back to it in 2026 or whatever.
It's an aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's not that. See, when they do,
but it's just like anything that was popular. It's going away.
Right.
So it's as long as we can keep
Ebbs and
that wave
flows.
coming. Yeah.
But just because you can put a movie poster on somebody, you know what, the new stencils, you don't even need to draw, right? They take a picture, and so they put these perfect color. That does not necessarily mean it's a tattoo aesthetic. A tattoo aesthetic is an outline with, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
So you know, I used to say traditional tattoos, simple in design, difficult in execution, because if you fuck it up, they look bad, man.
I mean, my favorite thing is on the a lot of the seasons of the TV show I was on. There's like all these kids are doing whatever they're doing, and then it's traditional. They're like, it's like, oh, boring, so simple, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and then they all botch it.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, "Damn, it's harder than I thought."
Yeah. It's a discipline. It's a discipline.
Yeah.
You know, like certain blues music, you're playing the same. It's a pentatonic scale, 5 notes. You're playing this with a couple passing tones, but it's not the amount of notes, man. It's what you're saying with it.
Yeah.
You dig? It's the same with traditional tattooing. You know, I always say that the dumber you are, the better you tattoo. Because when Bob retaught me to paint, like I never learned to paint flash.
Yeah.
We did pencil, black and gray, whatever. But Bob, when he retaught me, I go, why? And he goes, don't ask me why. Just do it. And
there is no why, do or die.
But you did?
Yeah.
So me, I'm in my head about it. Where someone, okay, this is where the black goes. This is where the red goes. You leave a third, whatever your formula is, if you're set in motion, you know. But I overthink it, you know. Like I don't know if I did that sale right. like I wonder how. And then you see it 10 years later, and you're like, oh, I guess I did. But yeah, it's that makes me very happy that you say that, because I sometimes look at these kids and I'm just like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's some of everybody though.
Yeah. Well, they probably are drawn to you because you have a big tattoo personality, right?
I hope so.
Well, no, But I mean, when I see you, what I think is when I see this, and I have Shank told me about this, but I think you're living your perfect life.
Well, I mean, that's the plan,
Well,
right?
you might not think so.
No, I am definitely living living the way I want to live.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Like we said in the beginning, the moment thing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a goal, and so one day you're too old to do the goal. You never got there. You dig? So you better get on it now. And when I see this place, I think, oh, I'm
living in the now
he's
for
on
sure.
It now.
I've always been living in the now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Do you think tattooers taught you that?
I think my father and grandfather taught me that.
Really?
Yeah.
So who are your favorite older tattooists? Stell? Bob?
I mean, I was so lucky to fall in with Richard. You know what I mean? I this typical story. I was a tattooer that was home taught, punk rock tattooer.
Yeah.
And then I just started going, like Richard Stell moved to Dallas and opened a shop. And it was like the biggest thing to happen to Dallas tattooing because Richard was like a known tattooer.
Right.
You know, and Dallas just had like biker tatters.
Yeah.
They didn't have any like
yeah.
I mean, they had one guy who was already close to retiring by the time it was the 1990.
Yeah.
Robert Hackney, who was friends with Ed Hardy, who owned a shop in Dallas, but he had already he had people working for him, but he wasn't tattooing anymore.
Yeah.
So Richard moved to Dallas, and it was like a big deal. So I went to Paradise, and I got tattooed. And then I just literally wore out my welcome. But like, I would hang out there the entire day. And Richard's like, everyone, and, you know, after a few hours every day, he's like, hey, you got to just go. You can come back later. Just, you've been here long enough, kid.
Yeah.
And then I would leave. And then I would be like, hey, I'll go, anybody want some food? I'll go get. And Richard's like, give me a, you know, ultimate cheeseburger from Burger King. I'm like, all right, I'll be right back. And then I did that. And then I was like, hey, you want me to clean the bathroom? What? You gonna clean the bathroom? I'm like, I mean, it's not clean now.
Yeah.
Who's gonna clean it?
Yeah.
And I just did that. I just stayed there. And then it got to the point where I was just there. I went every day.
Yeah.
And then finally, Richard, you know, taught me how to tattoo. And I've been telling a secret. I've been letting a cat out of the bag a few times. And I'll say, I mean, when people always come in and they want to ask about an apprenticeship, and then people say, no, we're not apprenticing anybody. And they're like, well, I tried to get an apprenticeship and I never could. I'm like, it's because when they told you no, you believed them.
You left.
Yeah.
You left.
They told me no 1,000 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's part of it. See, that's the gatekeeping thing.
Yeah.
Again, because you want to see if the kid's even willing.
Yeah.
Because if he's just going to hand it to him, he's not going to appreciate it anyway. Right?
Yeah.
So you're like, get out of here, kid. And then the next day, get off my porch, kid. And then the next day, and then, you know, But I mean, because I always say tattooing, the couple things. Tattooing picks you. You don't pick it. And also, leave it better than you found it.
Yeah.
Like, that's important. You know what I mean? Because most people, you know, they're staying at your house, they go in your kitchen, they just fucking make them, you know what I mean? They don't clean, you dig? And so when you have a guest and you go in and you're like, would you clean this motherfucker? You know what I mean? And then you're like, oh, this guy might be worth, you dig, just like you, just like I said. I mean, whatever it takes to get what, you know, because I mean, everyone's like, well, what'd you do? Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, isn't it the same thing? CIA guys, like, you know, some guy's a gun runner from Cuban, you know, when you're reading about the Kennedy assassination, and they're like, well, this guy asked me, he said, you got a boat? I'm like, yeah, you want to make some money? Next thing you know, he's a CIA runner, but he never, yes, Central Intelligence, I'll join, you dig? They just like, a guy knows a boat, and there was a guy with a gun, and he just was reliable. So they said, well, use him again and again and again. Next thing you know, he's got 20 years of fucking, you know, same thing, tattooing, you know, you just be there and be reliable, you know, be there and, you know,
I mean, as soon as the second I was in the door with Richard, I just met. It's like the floodgates open. I met everyone. I met Chris Trevino. I met everybody from Jack Rudy to Bob Roberts to Ed Hardy to Eric Mosky. Just through the line. You know what I mean?
Rollo, too, right?
Yeah. Well, I met Eric Mosky, came to Dallas and worked at Paradise. Met Eric Mosky. Eric Mosky said, "Hey, you should come visit California." I went to California.
I wondered how you got to California.
Yeah, he came to Dallas. He was passing through. Hit up Richard. Said, "Hey, I'm passing through. Can I do some tattoos?" Boom, boom. We hit it off. He invited me to California. Instantly, within the first week I went to California, I met Juan Puente. I met Bob Roberts. I met Mark Mahoney. I met, oh my God, everybody.
Yeah.
It just like snapped. And then the second time I went to California, I met Corey Miller, and I met, Mike Brown, and I met Baby Ray. And it's just like, then you meet Freddie Corbin, and then you meet Scott Sylvia, and then you just like, then and within 3 years, I had a friends from coast to coast.
Yeah.
Like snap. Like I had friends tattooed in Florida, had friends tattooed in New York, had friends tattooed in Seattle, had friends tattooed in San Francisco, LA, Phoenix, Chicago, and it was just like,
yeah. There's a shop in New York, Pete and Kubo's. It's been there long. Pete DeQuinto.
I've heard about it.
Okay.
I haven't been there.
Okay, well, it's in like Ozone Park, and like Gotti's was across the street, kind of. And they're Italian tattooers. I just went and stayed with them. And Georgie, I mean, he grew up on John Gotti's the street, and Carniglia, and I know those guys from prison. I knew a lot of them from prison, not all of them, but some of them. And Georgie said, Shane, I got a chance to join that, and now he's glad he didn't. But he said, I got the same thing in tattooing, because it's a society, and it says, you know what I mean? Like you just said. And Mike used to say the same thing. We can go town to town, and who's tattooing? Where are we? We're, I know somebody that you dig. Like that was the beautiful thing about it, like it's right.
That's what I hope the next generation of tattooing embraces, is the community of tattooing.
Well, somehow, okay, I always say this too. Burt Grimm's world famous, tattoo shops always say you're, okay, well, somehow they got it twisted that it wasn't the customer, it was them they were talking, the tattooer, because that's all for the customer, man. You're here, this is it, you found it, you belong here, the whole thing, even if they're grumpy and they're like, what do you want, or whatever, but but it's all set up for that. And somehow it got twisted to think I'm the world. You know what I mean? No, dude, it's your customer. That's the most important. Somehow I would like to see it come back around. I think it always will. I think it always has. I think we just, I said this in the book too. I say a lot of things in the book that have nothing to do with tattooing. But if you think there's an inner circle, you're never gonna get in it. Yeah. It's like you just, you know what I mean? Like you just meet people and you hit it off, and then, I know that guy. And the weirder someone is, it's like almost better. Yeah. Because then, we're all kind of weird. So, the minute that you let your freak flag fly, then everyone's like, okay, he's like me. I mean, cause like I said, we need all the Eric Moskys we can get. We need all the Richard Stells we can get. We need all
the Scott Sterlings.
Scott. Oh, the book. Yeah, I forgot to tell you. Okay, so we did this book.
With the Sean Barber painting on the front. Love that.
Yeah, here, look at it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And we, it's for you. He didn't write it. We did. Yeah. All his friends. And he's so jazzed about it, and he's crazier than hell. My chapter, the book's called Tattooing in the Nut House, but I was like, don't feed the bipolar bear. But they didn't go for it. Yeah. But it's he's an important part of us, and I'm really.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
I was just gonna ask you a question. Did you learn a lot about machines from Scott, or did you?
I used one of those bulldogs they made. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they're kind of cool. Yeah. And I called Candy, and she was like, his is his number. I called him up. I'm like, hey, I'm this moron. You know what I mean? What are you doing? You got any machines? He's like, yeah, I happen to have one. And I'm like, cool. Do you got any others? And he had like 10. Like, this is the end of his run, kind of. And I bought every fucking machine from him. And then we started talking every Tuesday. And he had a real love of tattoo history, and at the time I'm trying to find it, and so then we started meeting, and we would go on road trips. We drove one time 16 hours to see a machine, like to see how it was sprung. I mean, we were crazy. Like, so cool. He's the only guy I know like that but he's crazy. Yeah. Like, and it was one of the first things. He hadn't been to conventions because he has bipolar, and so he gets manic. So what happens is when he gets a pocket full of money and he's around all his friends, he's gone. Like, I mean, he thinks he can stop traffic.
Yeah.
And he thinks that he can, like, it's wild. And so when I first started hanging out with him, I had a bunch of his friends like, you have to take care of him, and it's your responsibility. And we would go to a convention, he'd be totally fucking normal. Like, it was insane. He has this deadpan face, and they changed his meds.
Uh-huh.
And we went to the Inksmith, the 30th, one of them.
Yeah.
And he lost his mind, and he ran into traffic. And I caught him, like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I have my machine case across the street. I go, you're going to get hit by a car. I can stop traffic. Don't worry about it, Shane. And I'm like, yeah, you can't. And then he tried to stab me. And I was like, dude, like, it's okay. It's okay if you stab me.
You try to stab me. Let's write a book together.
But I was getting a tattoo by Stan. And the guy was Sam from Daytona. We were doing Popeyes on each other. He's like, I want a Popeye tattoo. And he said, listen, I don't care. Of course, I have good tattoos from people. But if I like you, I just want your tattoo.
Let's get a Popeye.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing to me. I just want one. So we were doing them. And Stan had a rose he did that he kept a jar. And every time he do the rose, he put money in it. He called it his boat rose, because when he got enough money in the jar, he bought a fishing boat. So Scott's nuts, and he comes in, and we're tattooing each other. And we made Mike open the shop, so it was only me and him, because, you know, everyone's there, and we don't want anyone around, you know what I mean? I don't want any people's. So, but they started coming in. They found out we were there, and they started coming in, and Scott comes in. He's like, I want to get the boat rose. I want to get the boat rose. And he's fucking completely insane. and I'm like, oh my God, Scott.
So you think he's been insane forever, or did he go more insane as he got older?
It's gotten worse as he's gotten older, but if they would have left him on lithium, he'd never have a problem. But what happens, and I don't mean to get all weird on you or whatever, but big pharma want to sell medicine, and like everyone's fine. They're like, no, try this. And it's sprung. I mean, he's never been, he went to jail. This is a good story too. So he's crazy.
Yeah.
And the cops think he's on PCP. So they throw him in jail. He's not, he's just, and if I could have been there, I'd be like, he's crazy, you know, like for real. It's like real. and so they put him in jail for a long time. And I was trying to get him out. So I called a bail bondsman in Virginia Beach. He worked for Crow. And I'm like, hey man, the bail bondsman's name was Ernie Sutton. Now, Lewis and Sutton are my favorite machine builders. I'm like, is your name Ernie Sutton? He's like, yeah. I go, Ernie Sutton, you know this fucking guy's a builder. He's like, yeah, what's the fucking problem? He doesn't realize that there's a tattooer named Ernie Sutton that I'm like, this is destiny. He must get, but he couldn't get him out because Scott had a nut hold on him. But that time in jail, they didn't give him his meds. And I truly believe there is a pre and an after. And I mean, literally, and I love him. So, I mean, I'd do anything. He knows that. He could have my life right now if he needed it. He calls me sometimes 40 times a day and says the same thing over and over. Thanks for getting me out of jail, Shane. Well, I didn't get you out of jail. Yeah, you did. You called Ernie Sutton, and you know what I mean? Like, just depends on how nuts he is. But the book, he deserved it.
Yeah.
Because he bridges Paul to the younger builders, Juan, and because they all looked up to him, he did those seminars. And if you ask Juan or any of the guys you named, they all went to Scott's seminars. But I never liked, I shouldn't say this, I never liked any of Scott's builds but the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I've had 1 million of his machines, and they don't hit hard enough for me.
Yeah.
But, we've been going forever. But there's a low.
We're going to taper it down.
There's a low tension and high tension builders. You know what I mean? And low tension's like Paul and them.
Yeah.
Because they were doing like 5,000 hairs on wizards. And then traditional, you need a magic marker. So anyway, but yeah, we'll keep going. I'll go forever. So maybe we should.
Well, it's good to see you, and I thank you so much for coming here and
I
sharing
really
with
appreciate
me.
you having me. I really do. I hope I made sense.
I mean, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I could go. Yeah, we could just.
Yeah, we could do part whatever. Yeah. Well,
so we just to wrap up, you got part 1.
So I did another one.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do it.
And I didn't want to do it.
No, because I felt like I got it all done in this one.
But you called it Volume 1. So you were already wrapped in.
Up.
You already wrapped in.
I do a lot of things like that.
You pre-committed.
Yeah.
You pre-committed.
Yeah. And this one they have to cross. I brought these for you, and I'll sign them. But I have to like cross stuff out because stuff is wrong. I'll give you a quick one. Okay, so I have all these envelopes I drew in prison. You know how prison.
Oh yeah.
You see the drawing on that?
No.
No. There's no drawing.
Oh, see the you just put an envelope in there that just has an address.
The editor, you can just see the beginning of the drawing. So the guy that put it together wasn't smart enough to put the fucking drawing, so he just put the envelopes. This is an address to my mom's in my book.
That's pretty fun.
And like it was like, and I'm just like, so I take a marker and I'm like, okay, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. But whatever.
If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, bud.
Yeah, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.
I'm glad I got to see all this and
we can give you a proper tour now that we're done.
Yeah.
And hope you have a good time in Dallas.
Yeah, I will. I always do.
And just to say, by the time this airs, it'll be over. But you're in town to do a seminar at Randy Adams with Matt Ventura.
Yeah.
And what Matt's got going on over there at Randy Adams Tattoo Shop is just so fucking cool. And what we're all talking about here about keeping legacies alive, I think Matt is like the perfect person to take over that flag.
He really did something there.
It's killer.
And Randy's really something.
Randy's great.
You got to get him.
We're getting Randy's.
You got to get him on here.
Randy's next.
Yeah. Okay. Because
coming up next, we're gonna have Randy Adams in here, guys.
Because we lose a lot of people.
We're not losing Randy, so don't even worry.
No,
about
I don't mean it like that. But what I mean is, if you don't get his story,
yes.
I mean, he was a carnival painter, and that guy. He was on every tattoo magazine.
Dude, he was the Fort Worth rock star tattooer, dude.
I mean, it's funny because you hear these names, but then he was always there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like
Greg just had a stack of '90s tat mags, and we were just going through them, and like Randy's in all of them.
Yeah, he's in all of them.
Yeah,
he's everywhere, cool. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much, Shane.
Thanks for having me, Oliver. Thank you.
All right, guys, we're out of here. See you next time. Don't forget, follow Shane Enholm on not the Instagram.
Right.
Because he's out.
You can find me. I'm around. Google me.
And like, share, subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. And if you have any questions about what's going on here, you can always leave them in the comments, or you can email me questions over to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com, and we will get back and answer those questions to you. Later, guys. Hey, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, guys, click all those links, push all those buttons, because it really helps us out. It gets us out there to more and more peeps. What in the Duck podcast is produced by Audra Cabral and John.com Niederkorn. Our sound, video engineer, and editor is Courtney, Junior Larkins. Initial audio-video setup and intro music by Blake Balake Pinchon. And a big thanks to everyone that submitted questions. Y'all keep them coming. Email me any questions you would like me to answer to whatintheduckpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on What in the Duck. What in the Duck podcast is proud to be sponsored by Anchor Screen Printing. Anchor Screen Printing has been printing t-shirts and merch products since 1999. Anchor is the place for quality, small run items. At Anchor, every print is hand done by people who care about art. You can email anchorcustoms@gmail.com to talk about getting something printed for your company, brand, or shop. Anchor Screen Printing also has its own online merch store that sells Elm Street Tattoo, Cheap Thrills, Heart and Hand, Party First Safety Maybe merch, and much more. So go to anchorscreenprinting.com today and buy some cool shit. Or you can click the link provided in this podcast to shop now.